What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4125. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Montgomery, and Jim Hardiman's Room. I'll tell you today is a random question. Your guess is as good as my categories: presidents and Metallica. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, bedroom shot of the day, fun listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click, clack, drink and drive. All right, here we go. Edmonton air traffic controllers do their best to make sure the Oilers win Game 3. Meanwhile, it appears one German tourist in Spain really did have to pee. YouTube advertisements 3 minutes long lead to at least one death. If you think Hertz Rental Car will refund your money, don't hold your breath. And a Chicago man holds up a grocery store, gets $1. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, a restaurant in Missouri made headlines last week after it enforced a strict age policy, only allowing people 30 years old or older to enter after 7 p.m. Now, reactions have been split, but the owner says he doesn't want the drama that younger folks bring, and he's not backing down. Meanwhile, in Indianapolis, a restaurant closed down after the owners received death threats because they banned children under 5 from entering. And not because the kids are hyper hellions running around disrupting other customers. No. In part, it's because of their disgusting parents, who, among other things, leave dirty diapers on the tables. But isn't that the funny thing about the kids? They either bring out the best or worst in people. In England, a couple has upset their neighbors because they won't get rid of their dogs. The neighbors want them to get rid of the dogs because the neighbors want their children to be able to play in their yard. That's right. Their argument is, my kids can't play in your yard because they're scared of your dogs. Okay, shame on them for having private property, I guess. On a lighter note, of kids of all ages, they'll be surprised to learn that for the first time ever, grown-ups have surpassed preschoolers as the biggest toy consumers. This is true. Between January and April of this year alone, adults will spend $1.5 billion in toys on themselves. So if you're listening, kids, that's right. Us parents, we're hoarding all the action figures, the board games, the Lego sets. It's all ours. It's all ours. Nobody saw that trend coming. But these are just some of the stories that have crossed our paths today, and the stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question that completes random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Forget the burdens of tenants and toilets. Equity Multiple simplifies your investment journey, letting you invest passively in vetted, cash-flowing commercial real estate. Only 5% of reviewed investments reach Equity Multiple's platform, with our asset management working on each from funding through exit to maximize your returns. Enjoy the confidence to diversify your portfolio and the convenience of an easy-to-use online platform. Whether you're on the couch, in your exec chair, or the backseat of a rideshare, Equity Multiple brings real estate investing to your fingertips. All investments involve risk. Visit equitymultiple.com to learn more.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the Joels, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4125. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Exciting return of Your Guess As Good As Mine. We've got a couple categories for you this week, as we have Metallica tickets for you all day Friday.
We do. What happened to Metallica? I thought that was our big Metallica push.
It's June.
Man, oh man. They're messing with us.
It's all day June. This Friday, the 21st.
21st, 21st, yeah.
21st. Tickets all day long to see Metallica. What do we have for you? The 10 greatest Metallica songs of all time.
Based on whose opinion?
The fans. I'm glad you asked that. Not Rolling Stone magazine.
Thank God. That's really what I mean when I ask that question.
These are the top 10 Metallica songs according to the people that love Metallica. They're all popular songs. We play them all. You've heard them all. So it's Metallica, all one category. The next category, the 10 celebrities Americans would like to see run for president of the United States.
I'm guessing this is another survey. They said, who would you want to see run?
Okay. They surveyed 2,000 Americans, and they said, hey, who would you like to see that's a celebrity, maybe to take a shot at running for president? It's happened before, not as far as the highest office in the land.
Well, Ronald Reagan.
But Ronald
he was
Reagan,
a big-ass actor before he got into politics.
Arnold was...
Governor of California.
Yeah, he was. Jesse the Body Ventura.
Governor of Minnesota.
Minnesota is correct.
Clint Eastwood, the mayor of Carmel, California. If Gilbert
Sonny
Gottfried were still alive, I'd vote for Gilbert Gottfried.
Sonny Bono, the mayor of Palm Springs, California.
I just want to hear his State of the Union.
Yes. So, believe it or not, as far as celebrities go, we have 3 billionaires on the list.
Crazy Cooter.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Jones, was that his name? Guy who played Cooter in Dukes of Hazzard. He was representative in Georgia, maybe. And also, what's his face?
There was another actor.
Gopher from Love Boat.
Fred Grandy,
I think. Yeah, he was in politics.
There was another one who actually played a lot of political roles that also went into politics.
You can't remember who it is.
And I cannot remember the guy's name.
Thanks for bringing it up. Now I'm going to rack my brain.
He was one of those dudes who never was the main lead in anything, but I want to say he kind of looks like the guy who played the boss in 9 to 5.
Okay.
I just don't know the guy's name, but he was a politician for, I can't remember the guy's name.
Was he TV, movies?
Yeah, it was all the above.
I don't know. Like what?
I will look him up.
70s, 80s? Because now my brain's turning.
70s and 80s, yes.
God damn it, man.
And he was a real-life politician, believe it or not. We also have 6 actors on here. All are male role actors and 1 former talk show host.
Okay.
So we have 1...
Jerry Springer. Used to be the mayor of Cincinnati.
We have 1 female. The other 9 on here are men. But these are the 10 celebrities Americans would like to see run for president.
Okay.
If you were to pick your own celebrity of who you would like to see run for president, who would it be?
Now, what am I basing this on? What is the criteria? Is it sheerly for my entertainment? Or is it because I honestly believe they would do a good job?
Yes.
Fred Dalton Thompson.
Fred Thompson.
I know you're talking Fred. That's the actor you're talking about.
He starred in Die Hard 2. He also was on Law and Order as the AG and was a real-life politician as well.
It kind of looks like Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes, and he sounds like Foghorn Leghorn, an older Foghorn Leghorn.
Now, did you remember this as soon as Miles brought it up?
The second, yes.
I'm racking remember. As soon as you said it, I'm like, yep, I remember him running for office.
Yep. What was he, a senator or House representative member? But he was a D.C. politician.
Yes.
Yeah, so he had to be a House member or something like that.
Yeah, I think he was a member of the House. I don't think he was a senator, but don't quote me on that because I didn't care that much.
BD says he was a senator.
Yeah, senator.
What celebrity would you like, if you could pick any celebrity to be a president, who would you take?
I would probably take Michael Douglas because I really enjoyed him in the movie The American President with Annette Bening.
I like the fact he got throat cancer from canyon yodeling.
I would take Martin
Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
He was a great president in the West Wing.
Well, yes, when you have a script, you tend to do better.
No, I know. I'm not just talking about actors who played presidents. I'm just saying,
I understand that.
Yeah, but VD can't escape from that.
I really can't, no, because it's in my brain. I really enjoyed Harrison Ford as the president in Air Force One.
Yep.
I mean,
are there actors who did not play a president who you also think might make a good president? Like I've heard Tom Hanks was thrown around.
Sure. I mean, I think
intelligent guy,
he'd be a good president. I think he's very thoughtful. He loves his history. He actually reads history. He learns from history. What a concept.
But does that have a place now? I'm not being funny, but it has no place here. So you got to figure someone who's going to push forward.
Play the president. I would take a hardcore Kiefer Sutherland kick-ass president, but he's Canadian, so he can't.
See, I would go. I think my pick would be Jon Stewart.
Sure,
just based on the fact that he has done a lot politically as far as
the rights of 9/11 first responders.
Absolutely.
He's stepped up and helped the American people in a number of ways where that necessarily is not his gig to have.
He's a comedian.
He's taken the torch and decided, hey, this is important to me. I grew up in New Jersey. I know a lot
Why
of families.
not Tom Cruise? I mean, the man rides
God.
motorcycles. He flies helicopters. He's got his own jets.
The answer is no.
No?
He
flies Air Force One.
He's not my pick.
And he jumps out.
I'd almost rather take Vin Diesel than him.
I mean, but there's a better chance of him not, being potentially targeted or, assassinated because he can, scale buildings and,
Okay.
By the way, VD, somebody points out, Michael Douglas also did the movie Falling Down.
He did.
They're just pointing out, like, hey, man.
Hey, it's a great range. You know what his range is, what his potential is. You don't want to see me angry. You wouldn't like me angry.
That's Bill Bixby.
The Incredible Hulk. Let's make him president.
That would be cool.
You wouldn't like me
I think
when
he's
I'm
passed
angry.
on, hasn't he?
Well, I
There's
don't
new
care about
Hulks,
Bill
man.
Bixby. Who's the new Hulk?
Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Hulk's still here.
A billion Hulks.
So, presidents and Metallica, those are your categories coming up with your guess is as good as mine.
Which member of Metallica would you take as your U.S. president?
Which member of Metallica?
You reduce it down and go, look, man, and it can be past or present. Go back to Jason Newsted. I like the guy. Don't know that he'd be a great president, but
He seemed like a pretty
down to earth.
on the level dude, though.
And every picture he'll snarl. That's what I'd like. The presidential portrait would be him snarling, throwing up double horns.
Yeah. What else do we have for you today? Some updated locations. Once you found the beer over the weekend, the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Thank you for doing that as we ramp up for our Men's Room World Tour stop this Saturday at the Lime in Kirkland. We will be there from 2 to 4. Yes, we'll have the Uli's world famous Men's Room beer brought. We'll have the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven and the Men's Room roasted red salsa from San Juan Salsa Company. Keep in mind, we're just supporting the Fisher House with a couple hours of drinking and eating. It's absolutely free. No ticket is required. Just have to be 21 years of age. So hopefully you can stop by the Lime in Kirkland.
Yeah, what the hell else are you doing?
From 2 till 4 and drink some beer with us. You never know. Looking at the weather can be awfully depressing at the end of June for a number of reasons based on the fact that everyone else has been swimming in pools since the Memorial Day weekend, enjoying the sun. We don't get ours until July 5th. But right now, the weather looks really, really good for the weekend.
What's really, really good?
It's supposed to ramp up all week. I think low 80s.
Oh, see, speaking my language.
Perfect day to go out and have some beers. And join us at the Lime in Kirkland for the Men's Room World Tour. And today is the day we do our random question. 206-803-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Joanna. Welcome to the Men's Room.
What's up?
Joanna, welcome to the program. Random question. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 31.
31 years old. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the biggest difference in age of anyone that you have dated, whether it be younger or older?
I would have to say probably 15 years.
15 years older, I'm guessing, based on your age.
15 years older, yeah.
31 years old, that would be a little weird.
Yeah.
All right. How was that experience dating someone who was older, as far as just your common interest, energy levels, whatever it is?
I think my biggest thing with that is the knowledge that I got from him. The energy was there, but it was more as kind of like a father figure in a sense, but it was just very I learned a lot, so that's kind of what I took with it,
So you took it as a positive experience then?
Very much so, yeah.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, I mean, hell, when you get older, age is just a number. As far as when you're in 8th grade, if someone you knew was dating a 9th grader or 10th grader, you'd be like, "Whoa, dude!" But that's huge. Yeah. But the older you get, the more it's like, yeah, whatever. Well, the reason we asked biggest age difference was someone you've dated. If you want to,
by the way, quick side note, she said it's kind of like a father figure. Not what I'm looking for in a romantic relationship. That's just me.
We all know Coach Bill Belichick. I guess he's not really a coach right now, but
former coach Bill Belichick.
6 Super Bowls, pretty strong for the New England Patriots. But whether you like him or not, he is he's doing just fine. He is now getting busy with his brand new girlfriend. He was engaged and was going out with a woman for probably over 20 years.
Why he was together with her that long?
Oh, this is his old girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then Bill got on a airline flight, right?
All right.
And the person who was sitting beside him was a competitive cheerleader. And she was also working on her thesis
for her master's degree or whatever it was that she was working on. And it was all about competitiveness. And she was a competitive cheerleader.
Right.
So she kind of knew a lot about competing in different things. She strikes up a conversation with Bill. Next thing you know, the coach is no longer with his girlfriend.
What does one know?
And he is no longer planning on a future with her, as he's now going out with 24-year-old Jordan Hudson. She and Bill met 3 years ago on a flight from Boston to Florida. You might not remember this, but at the Tom Brady roast, Rob Gronkowski actually joked about Bill scouting her at a high school. Bill, by the way, is 72 years old. His girlfriend, this is Bill Belichick. He's not like, okay, look, you could look at Pete Carroll and go, hey, Pete is an older guy. Pete is, he's very energetic. He's spriteful. He's youthful. Regardless of his age, he just seems to have a lot of
his
energy.
vibe is a lot different.
He's a good-looking guy, likes to run around. He's still athletic. All those things that, comparatively speaking, people to his age probably couldn't do two-thirds of what he can do. Now, he, for his age, is a good-looking guy.
Sure.
Belichick, not so much.
I don't think there was any point where Belichick was a good-looking dude.
No.
I mean, I don't think he was a good-looking dude in his 20s. Some people are just, he's not even necessarily ugly. There's just nothing. He's,
He's like a glow stick that went out, dude.
Wow,
like
the glow stick that went out.
I know, it's just, he's got no light to him. And how did he rope in a doggone 24-year? Hey, would you like to go out sometime?
What do you think?
I'd like to take you out.
I'm going to give you a hand.
She was a lifelong Patriots fan. There's no doubt about that.
Sure.
And that has something to do with it. It's just, man, I don't get it.
I do. He's got money.
At least when older people, get with somebody who's younger, it's like they tend to be attractive. They tend to be charismatic. I see neither in Bill Belichick.
I know, but again, it depends. It depends on your status, right? So Anna Nicole Smith, the dearly departed Anna Nicole Smith, married, I want to say the guy was like 92 at the time.
Billionaire tycoon, yeah.
He is this shriveled mass full of liver spots in a wheelchair, right?
Sure.
But everyone got it, and his family even told him at the time, look, she's only with you for your money. And he said, I'm 92 years old. You don't think I'm smart enough to know that? And he said, but here's the thing. I'm with her for the sex. And she knows that. And I'm going to be dead in a couple of years. And they were fine. It worked out. They understood what their situation was, so you couldn't really frown on it. I go, all right.
With this Belichick thing, the first thing I thought about was my youngest daughter, she's her age. She's 24. So that would be the equivalent, basically. Now, my dad is, he's 75. But it's closer to my dad dating my daughter than anything else as far as people that I know in my life, right?
Right.
Which to me is just like, even with my daughter's friends now, they are adult women. They're in their mid-20s. They have graduated from college. They have moved on. They are young professionals. I have never even thought in a minute that would be something where that would be acceptable to go out with somebody in their mid-20s. It's just, I mean, I'm in my mid-50s. I know it's 30 years, but that to me is that is a lifetime. That's how old Joanna was when she called to answer the question.
Right.
So that's the difference in our ages would be the difference in her living a life that long. So to me, it's just like, no, that's the
Dad, I want you to meet my new boyfriend. Yeah, it's nice to meet you, Miles Montgomery.
Yeah, exactly.
This old man, I hate you.
I do. You knocked the Ravens out of the. You just screwed up the. I hate you.
I'd be pissed if I had to meet Bill Belichick.
I hate you.
Listen, man.
I respect
20
you.
Goddamn years, you were a thorn in my freaking NFL side.
No
Get out of my
deflated-
house.
No
I
deflated
respect you,
footballs
but
in here.
hey, look, man. When we went and saw the Seahawks and the Buccaneers in Germany.
Yeah,
I didn't hate Tampa Bay. They just won a Super Bowl.
Sure.
I didn't hate Tom Brady, but when you put Brady with Belichick, I hate him.
Then I hate him, yeah.
Exactly.
That's a combo.
I mean, I'm dead serious.
But to me, it's like this. I like peanut butter. I like tuna fish. If you put them together, I hate the combo.
Yeah.
Just that simple. You guys are fine on your own. Just don't like you together.
She kissed the same lips as Brady, though, so that's big for a Patriots fan.
Yep. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the men's room.
Okay, so, hola, bitches.
Hola.
Alex, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see.
So real quick before we start, I'd like to correct Mike on something real quick.
Hit me.
I am not Alex from Chicago. I am Alex from San Jose calling from Chicago.
I just put Chicago down as your location like that. That's the real screw up in mine.
Okay.
So good.
Yeah, that's me. It's all me, man.
Well, I'm glad we got that taken care of.
Dude.
All right, Alex, let's go with this here. What would you say is the biggest event as far as the number of people present that you've ever been to?
I don't think they're probably the Grateful Dead Fare Thee Well concert at Levi Stadium back in 2015, I think it was.
I don't know if you want to pay the cost.
Okay, how many people were there?
I have no idea. I do not like Levi Stadium, therefore I'm not willing to put in the effort to know how many people can fit in there.
Steve, you went to that stadium. You saw the 49ers play the Ravens. How many people would you guess fit into that stadium?
Man,
it's a newer stadium.
I don't know. I'm going to guess maybe 60 to 65. I'm not. One of the things that makes that stadium hard to read, it's one of the few stadiums where every chair is red, which I get. It's for the Levi's logo, but it's crazy when you walk in there. It's all red seats. And then when it fills up with 49ers fans who are also wearing red jerseys, you really can't get a gauge how many people are there except for the noise.
Man, this is a tough one for me. I've really... Because if you go to the Indy 500 or something like that, you know what? That's already going to be the winner, without question. You've got, over 100,000 people there easily.
Yes.
What is the stand seat? Maybe 200,000 people? Whatever it is, it's a ridiculous number as far as how many towns you could fit inside the infield, blah, blah, blah. Then I go back to Preakness in Baltimore, and although that's not nearly the biggest race out of the three, for the crown jewel, but they fill the infield up to capacity with people who are partying and standing up. That does not include the people who are in the grandstands. Matter of fact, I've never even been to the grandstand.
I've never been to the grandstand there. As long as I lived in Baltimore, the only time I made it to a horse race was, in fact, Preakness. And even then, there's always the infield or people vomit on each other.
Right. And then when you go to your outdoor stadium concert. So I saw Taylor Swift, took my kids to that show. So as far as the number of people in that might be the most. As far as, look, I've seen Guns N' Roses there, the Chili Peppers, or whoever was coming around. I can't remember some of the Rolling Stones, I think I saw last time, right? And it's full. It ain't Taylor Swift full.
Right.
So that was a big difference. There was a show in about 89 or 90 where Metallica and Guns N' Roses were going out on a co-headlining tour, and they were switching back and forth between who was opening and who was closing. Right. And I saw them at Three River Stadium. But Three River Stadium only seats, at that point in time, about 52,000 people. It was packed. There were people on the floor, which increases the number of people in there.
Of course.
I'm just not. I guess it's got to be Taylor Swift. That's probably the one venue I've been to with the most amount of people at one time.
Did they ever announce attendance at a concert? At a sporting event, they'll tell you, all 70,427 people. I've never been to a concert where they say, hey, this is how many people are here.
Yes. A record was broken over the weekend as far as the most fans in history to watch a show. Concert was played at Kyle Field at Texas A&M University. The stadium, 11,000 people packed in, the largest ticketed crowd in U.S. history. The previous record was 107,000 people. That's how many people paid to see the Grateful Dead at Raceway Park in New Jersey in 1977. Do you guys know who the new honoree, the new winner is for the largest ticketed crowd in U.S. history? Can you name the artist?
I read it today, so I know. You're not going to guess. Just take it. Country artist.
You like him.
Country artist.
Yep.
And I like him.
Yep.
Luke Combs.
Nope. Guess him.
How about Chris Stapleton?
Yes.
Not a bad guess.
How about George Strait?
George Strait.
Yep.
George Strait. 111,000 people at Kyle Field at Texas A&M University.
That is crazy.
That's insane. More than a question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at AmericanStandardAir.com/electrification.
Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. Parents can send instant money transfers, automate allowance, and more. Plus, keep an eye on spending with real-time notifications. Join more than 6 million families building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/Odyssey. That's greenlight.com/Odyssey.
Picture this. It's blazing hot outside and you need to get to work. You get into your car and turn on the AC to get cold air pumping as soon as possible. But it doesn't work. Instead, blowing hot air out of your vents and directly into your face. No, your car doesn't hate you. This issue is commonly caused by low refrigerant due to leaks in the air conditioning system. And there's an easy, all-in-one solution that will restore the cold air in no time. There's no need to go to the shop and pay lots of money when you can save time and money recharging yourself with AC Pro Recharge Kits. AC Pro Recharge Kits make restoring cold air easy for even those with zero DIY experience. And the AC Pro app offers clear, vehicle-specific instructions to help you get the job done in less than 10 minutes. So pick up an AC Pro Recharge Kit at any store selling auto products and confidently restore your car's cold air yourself today. Be a pro with AC Pro.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It is Random Question 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Kaylin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola, picholas.
Hola. Caitlin, welcome to the program. The Random Question. Think you can answer this one. All right, as a kid or as an adult, what do you think are the greatest toys and board games ever? The ones that you like the most?
The greatest toys or board games?
Yep.
Oh, let's start when you were a child. Like, what did you have to have as a kid? Christmas is coming up. You're begging, pleading with your parents. Please, please, please. I must have this thing.
I would say I had a remote control car that I really liked. Yeah. I also really were into My Little Pony.
Okay.
All right. See, there you go. Do
you have any toys or games as an adult that you still enjoy?
No, I don't have any toys that I would say that I particularly enjoy. I like card games. I like Cards Against Humanity.
All right. Okay, that's technically a game.
It is a game. It's absolutely a game. It's a fantastic game. I think it might be one of the greatest games created.
Thank you.
My kids, they kept wanting to play it, and I said, man, you got to just give it a little time, and I'll absolutely let you, but not yet. Because you're going to get creative.
Which means you're going to get online and read every one of those questions anyway.
And that's fine.
Yes.
That's fine. I know. Look, my whole thing is, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. I can't stop you. Just don't let me find out about it.
Did you tell me that your son figured out the Rubik's Cube in however long the tutorial took online?
So, Kaylin, I don't know about you. Have you ever even tried a Rubik's Cube?
I have tried a Rubik's Cube.
Did you even get close? In my life, I got one side one time, and it was not even the side I was trying to get orange. Then my brother goes, stop, because you got blue, right? Seriously. Mm-hmm. So my son got one, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago maybe. He went on Google, saw some tutorial, and now you hand him the Rubik's Cube, and I kind of want to punch him in the face, and he solves this thing in like 25 seconds. Done. So then he put me on the tutorial, and even though I'm going through the tutorial, I still screwed it up. I'm not built to do a Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
I hate those things.
Gregor's got some from the end, the Morgan Gregor. He has 2 or 3 on his desk.
I know.
We should go back there and see if we can actually do it if we watch the tutorial to try to figure it out. Well, I've never solved the Rubik's Cube.
I've never solved Rubik's Cube.
But when that was popular, every kid had one in their pocket, their backpack, wherever they were.
They're coming back.
They have little small ones for keychains.
Yep.
And different sizes and all that stuff.
They are back. It's kind of the rage. Well, toward the end of their school year, it became the rage, at least against the boys in the class. And it was unbelievable to me. So I'm like, really, man? The thing you guys are excited about, the nostalgic thing that you guys want to do is the Rubik's Cube?
I'll tell you what, dating myself on this one, but the Atari 2600 came out when I was probably 8 or 10 years old, somewhere in there.
All right.
But that was the first real video game besides Pong that you could play that had different cartridges, different games, all those things. Most of my friends had one of those.
Sure.
So if we got a new game, we would take it over like Pitfall or whatever we didn't have. We would kind of trade back and forth.
Always bring the cartridges over of a game your buddy didn't have.
And then, it rained a lot growing up in West Virginia. So to me, I think it's one of the most underrated toys ever, but it's Nerf.
Oh, Nerf is great.
Little Nerf basketball hoops you put up on the back of the door.
I don't know that it's underrated, man. I want to say Nerf went into, I believe, the Toy Hall of Fame. And the Toy Hall of Fame, as dumb as it sounds,
Nerf football,
they are super strict Because there's toys you cannot believe are not in there. But like when Nerf went in, it wasn't just the football. It was like Nerf products because they gave you the football, then the basketballs. Now those Nerf, like my kids have the Nerf guns where they shoot. By the way, don't get your kid the big automatic one because when they have their fights outside in summer, for the rest of the summer, I find these little orange tip blue bullet. You think you've cleaned them all up. It's like glitter. It doesn't matter what you do. We were doing the yard this weekend, right? So pulling out weeds, and I found probably like 12 more.
As far as using your imagination on things, I thought the Star Wars toys were cool because basically you're role playing with them for the most part as far as the scenarios, what's going on, kind of like Army Men back in the day.
I used to look, when I was a kid, Army Men absolutely were my. It got to the point we'd buy that little Tester's paint crap, and I sit down and paint them all up. And by the way, you would not have wanted to fight in my army because one group had red pants and red helmets, so you'd have been shot at a distance. But as a kid, they look cool. Because it looked more like a football. But I would say, and you didn't do anything with them. You just set them up. You set up a scene, and then you're done.
Hot Wheels was cool, but the electronic racing ones where you raced the cars on a track with
AFX and Tyco
with a little gun, those were fun. I never had one. But
never had one?
But my friends that did, man, we played it constantly.
We got one every Christmas, and the reason why they lasted about a solid 7 months. And it's just, kids pulling apart the track and all that kind of. Eventually, you broke pieces. So once a year at Christmas, we could count on that, and we played that thing until we wore it out. Yep. It was freaking awesome.
The reason we asked as a kid or an adult, what do you think are the greatest toys and board games ever? Jake Gladfelter spends about $4,800 a year on toys. $2,400 for himself, $2,400 combined on his 6 and 10-year-old sons for their birthdays and their Christmas presents.
So really, $1,200 per kid and $2,400 on him.
He is a 39-year-old tech sales rep who moonlights as a toy influencer under the moniker Geek Dad Life. And he is among a booming group of grown-ups who are shelling out big bucks to collect action figures, trading cards, Lego sets that kind of harken back to the youth in the 80s and 90s. He loves all things Star Wars, Marvel, Ghostbusters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Ninja Mutant Turtles, whatever. And for the first time ever, toy demand from preschoolers was surpassed by demand from toy enthusiasts over the age of 18. How much money did the toy industry make with people who are over the age of 18? Try $1.5 billion in sales from January to April.
That puts them on track for $4.5 billion this year from adult. And that's just buying 3 Lego sets.
They are now described as the most important age group for the toy industry. A recent survey showed 43% of adults purchased a toy for themselves during the past year. And they were struggling to recover from the bust during the pandemic. Then families were holed up at home, stocking up on Barbies, Hot Wheels, and board games. Yes, the pandemic is one of the things that actually helped bring them out of the hole.
Well, sure.
So it was more beneficial for them as far as their board games, toys, all these things
but at that
people were doing
point,
at home.
I feel like they were actually buying it for your kids. You don't want them to do screen time 24 hours a day. They're already zooming to go to school and all that kind of crap. So I get it. You buy them these tactile toys where they can do something.
Well, it also kept you busy as well. There's only so much that you can do around the house before you're going out of your mind with boredom. Something that's just small and just simple can just keep your brain
What
on
is
track.
a children's toy that you would be willing to interact with now? Right? So that's why I think Legos do so well, because if you have an engineering type of mind, someone like my brother.
We used to have erector sets.
He'd be all about it. But when we were growing up, Lego really didn't sell specific. They just sold the blocks, and you could make whatever. And that I didn't mind because, well, I'm not good at them, so I just made whatever. But now, like when you buy these sets, man, it is a very specific thing you're supposed to build. And to me, that's no fun.
Well, and I'll go back to the Nerf guns. Those are just fun to play with in the house. Now, granted, you only get about 20 minutes before I'm old and fat and tired, so I don't want to do it for all that long.
But it's a great 20 minutes.
It is. And then also, I'll go back to the Hot Wheels and setting up tracks. Like, the fun thing about it is that it's kind of like Legos for cars. You could follow the rubric of how that thing needs to be set up, but there's a lot of people that make their own different courses and tracks as well, and that just makes it even more fun. I collected Hot Wheels cars when I was a kid.
That was a very important thing in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Have as many as you could.
So Lego, the company, they have a outreach staff called AFOL. AFOL.
Okay,
Adult Fans of Lego. And they specialize on this crowd because they are the ones that typically buy sets that are over $200.
Because they have money, yeah.
Where you would say, I am not buying you a $200 Lego set, kid. You need to...
I have said this,
You need to step up a little bit. If you want to do that, I'll tell you what, I'll go half with you or whatever.
You come up with $100?
Again, just a quick
because you know
side
a lot
note.
of kids they squirrel their money away. They do have some cash.
Be very careful. I said that to my daughter because this is years ago. The easiest way out, like I will go half and half with you. Count your money. Unlike my son, she does squirrel her birthday, Christmas money away. I did not realize this. Okay, so I get up in the morning and she has her brother's counting change. She's counting bills, and again, I'm gonna go half and half. And she got a $550 Lego set.
She did. Now, what was that?
It was I can't remember if it was London or Paris. Very intricate and all that kind of thing, but she had the money. I thought for sure she had maybe $60. But they counted out all their money. And my wife just looked at me and said, "You made the deal." I'm like, well, I didn't know she actually had a lot of money, man.
But if it's $200 for you, you would never say, "I'm not buying that for me. That's too expensive." You would say, like, "I want that. I want that Death Star. I want whatever the hell that thing is.
I have a job.
I want that Millennium Falcon." Whatever.
Yeah.
But they say the average collector spends between $300 to $400 a month. The people who collect and the people who play adult toys and games at home. Some items are stored in closets and never opened. Some are bought in doubles so that you have one set to play with, one set to hold on to that's never been opened. But they have closets specifically designed just to keep their games, their board games. Basements filled with bins of different collectibles and toys.
But it's weird to me. It's not weird. I get it. If you're a collector, then you collect things. That's your own business. But to have closets full of toys that you're not going to interact with. Like one of the guys that they used for this article, they showed his living room, and it's like a bookshelf full of all these action figures. And I go, okay, at least he looks at them every day and they bring him some joy. But things sitting in my closet, they're just in my closet. I get it with board games. You're going to pull them out when you use them. But like, and even if you buy two, you buy them a pair, so there's one you're going to quote unquote interact with. What do you do with the other one? Are you going to sell it?
I think at that point in time, you're basically doing something that you believe to be a collectible, which hopefully, typically this does not work out as planned in the world of you look at the
pound puppies and all that.
All the cards, with maybe the exception of Pokemon cards. I don't know, baseball cards aren't worth crap anymore.
I think Magic still does well.
A lot of collectors' items that you thought that you hold on to this Cabbage Patch Kid or this Beanie Baby or whatever, they're not worth crap.
Right.
So apparently they're betting on some of these things being worth money in the future.
I get it when people say, look, it's not that I wanted this particular card or doll, but I just know for a fact this was the reject one. They only made 100 of them or something like that. You go,
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the people with all the pound puppies, like, this is going to be worth a lot. I'm like, well, the problem is if everyone believes that, it's not going to be. Because everyone went out.
Right.
It's like you said with the baseball cards. Everyone went out for our generation and started buying up all the baseball cards, and it just reduced the value. Now you just have a bunch of cardboard sitting in your house.
Just as far as our group of friends, bikes, baseball bats, baseball gloves, basketballs, footballs, baseballs, tennis rackets, tennis balls. Mm-hmm. We would get out a lot and just take advantage of what was in the neighborhood. There's a tennis court, we're going to play tennis.
We had hockey sticks. No, we got ice skate. But your parents, they loaded you with every sport piece of gear.
Get you out of the house.
But I would, I think, honestly, the most underrated, at least for our generation, would be the bicycle. Because they got you from point A to point B. You could play with your buddy's toys. Your buddy could ride to your house. You could also play with the bike, trying to do wheelies and Evel Knievel, go off of ramps. To me, the bike was the ultimate toy. Now it's scooters. Hello, Brad. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Brad, welcome to the program. Ran a question. All right, since we're talking about toys, we're talking about fun here. Why don't we go with this one? What would you say if you go to an amusement park is your favorite ride? The one that you need to get on. Maybe you have a specific ride at a specific park that you've been to before that was just an awesome experience. But what is your favorite go-to if you go to an amusement park?
I usually go to the Tilt Fair every year.
Right.
And the one that I have to hit at that fair specifically is always the old white roller coaster.
Is that the one? Is that the one that's always there?
Yep, the sketchy one, exactly.
Yeah, but you know what, man? For as old as that roller coaster is, there's something about being on an older wooden roller coaster where, the metal ones go faster, obviously, they're higher.
But they feel less dangerous.
But when you're on those, man, it's almost like you're putting your life on the line and you don't even know why. Because you're not. It's been there the whole time. There's nothing wrong with the roller coaster. It's updated.
Exactly.
But it's still just like, there's a amusement park in Pittsburgh, and they were one of the earlier amusement parks, I want to say in the 20s or so. So when Coney Island was big, Kennywood was doing the same exact thing in Pittsburgh. But they have a wooden roller coaster called the Thunderbolt, which was at one point in time the fastest wooden roller coaster in America. It's the same. You put a little chain across your
Right,
lap.
that's it. No shoulder harness and all that.
There's another one called the Racer, where two different roller coasters you'd race against red and blue. So you're either one or the other.
Yeah. Nice.
Which was cool because that line moved because you're filling up two roller coasters at once and then they're racing it again. Then they had one called the Jackrabbit. And the Jackrabbit, they said it jumped the track. You could watch that it did not jump the track while you were watching the roller coaster. It was just the way
I don't think legally you can say, oh, no, we know it jumps the track.
It was just the way the inertia affected you, but it lifted your ass off the seat.
Yeah.
Again, with that one little chain.
That's one of the best parts is when you're actually hitting that little corner and you kind of move a little bit. And then you're going down the hill, and it's like, oh, am I about to come out? Nope. Okay, the belt's still there. We're good.
Is the one at the fair, is it just a single strap across the waist?
Probably a rope.
Might as well be a rope, but yeah, it's like the airplane belts.
Yeah, and that's it. Mm-hmm. That is it.
Yep. I think my favorite roller coaster that I've been on in my lifetime, there's a couple. There's one called the Loch Ness Monster at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg.
All right.
There's another good one at the Busch Gardens in Tampa. Used to be called the Viper.
I remember that. Big green one?
That was a corkscrew with a loop-to-loop.
Yeah.
So
I just like roller coasters.
That touched all the things that were like cool at the time that you wanted to do.
Because my thing with the roller coaster, and I think most people agree with this, as far as a roller coaster scaring the living bejesus out of you, after you get down the first hill, it's good.
Yeah.
Like the first hill, it's always the biggest, and then you start questioning, like, is this a good idea? But once you're done with that, it can be loops, corkscrews, it's fine.
It's the climb.
Yeah, it is.
I cannot believe how high I am. This is insane. I love roller coasters, but every time you're climbing up, you go,
every time.
Why did I agree to do this?
Every single
and then
time.
When you get off of it, you're like, we're doing that again.
Hell yeah. But even the second time you go up, you think, maybe I don't want to do this again.
What's the one that's on top of the building in Vegas?
The one on top of the stratosphere.
I don't know, but
there's one up there. There's one on New York.
That might be that might be the one where I say no.
It's just the one. The track goes over the edge of the building.
That is correct.
Yeah, there's that one that's just a straight track. It's literally just that teeter totter one that just kind of shoots you to the end.
I got a problem with that one. I have to admit, but I feel like I should do it because
no,
I've done. If I go, like I said, if I go to an amusement park, I do the roller coaster.
Me too.
Right? Every time, and like Miles said, when you're clicking up that first hill, you're like, this was a stupid idea. And then it's great. I got to think, after I'm done crying and pooping in my pants, that I'd be like, okay, let's do it again.
See, as far as my favorite ride is not a roller coaster, the Scrambler.
Scrambler.
That's the one that it's got the three little offshoots that seat like 2 to 3 people inside of it.
All right.
And then it spins them and then spins the whole thing along with it.
So you're spinning individually as it spins.
It's got one side that's padded because as you kind of get to the end of that spin, it pushes everybody to the outside edge over there. Now, I always end up on the outside because I'm the bigger guy and I don't want to crush anybody. But that has been one of my favorite rides my entire life.
I stopped doing, there's something like that. They called it the apple turnover, but essentially the same ride.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy, we were in our teens. So we're rocking that thing back and forth, just trying to get to spin around as hard as we could. But as we're doing it, we hear like a ping, a very metallic kind of mechanical sound. So we just stopped doing that part. The ride ends, whatever. We go away. About 20 minutes later, we get back in line for that ride. And we were on Pod 6. Yeah. Pod 6 is now taped. You can't. So whatever we did, broke the thing. And I'm like, maybe I don't get on there again.
Reason we asked, which favorite amusement park ride? Emergency crews in Oregon rescued 28 people on Friday after they were stuck for a half-hour dangling upside down on a ride at the century-old amusement park.
I saw this video. It's horrible.
Oh, my God. Portland Fire and Rescue, they were on hand, firefighters, to try to manually lower the ride. Crews had been preparing to conduct a high-angle ropes rescue if necessary. All riders were being evacuated and medically evaluated. There were no reports of injuries, but they were hanging upside down, being held in by their buckle and their belt for a half an hour. This thing is a giant pendulum.
Right.
Think about the pirate ship, but this one goes all the way upside down and hangs you upside down.
Yeah.
That's where they were stuck. The ride is called Atmosphere. Operates like a pendulum with the capacity to swing riders upside down. Chris Ryan and his wife are from Gresham. They're at the park for his birthday. He said in a message on Facebook, they'd just been planning to ride the Atmosphere, F-E-A-R, when they saw it was stuck and heard people saying, oh my God, they are upside down. Well, they decided to walk away because they didn't want to see anybody fall, and they knew how scary the situation was. They eventually got on the Ferris wheel and heard a loudspeaker announcement, the park is closing, and people should evacuate immediately. When the ride stopped, park staff immediately called 911. Emergency responders arrived 25 minutes later. The reason they evacuated the amusement park.
They were scared people were going to fall out of that thing.
They were afraid that people were going to witness people plunging to the ground upside down.
How does that make you feel if you're in that thing? Like, wait, why are you telling me everyone's being evacuated?
Yeah. 28 riders are stuck upside down for a half an hour. They are trying to determine the cause of the stoppage. By the way, the Oaks Park Amusement Park in Oregon has been in business since 1905. But that ride just opened in 2021.
Stick with the old stuff.
They've been around for over 100 years.
And that's the one.
That's my problem with these doggone thrill rides. See, the whole thing is like, oh, you feel like you're going to die right there. Oh, that adrenaline rush. And then crap goes wrong. I can't
but
do
those
it,
people
man.
still felt like they were going to die, and they still had an adrenaline rush. I mean, in the end, they got their money's worth.
A lot closer than they thought they would.
Yep. Sure. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
With an American Standard heat pump system, the future of heating and cooling your home is already here. Bringing constant comfort to your home, American Standard heat pumps are energy efficient, reliable, and ready for tomorrow, today. Plus, making the upgrade from your traditional furnace or AC unit is easier than ever before with home energy offers, rebates, and tax credits. Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification. American Standard, built to a higher standard.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Inside every California avocado is a story. It's shaped by idyllic conditions, full of rich soil, gentle rain, and friendly California sunshine, where avocados flourish. Crafted with care by dedicated local farmers who are committed to responsible, sustainable growing. The best avocados have California in them. To understand why, all you have to do is open one up. In season now. Visit CaliforniaAvocado.com to learn more.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Right, a question 206-803-ROCK.
You just asked a question about what ride you want to ride at the fair, the amusement park, whatever. Some people that chimed in. You were talking about the wooden coaster at the Puyallup Fair, right? Mm-hmm. My son broke his sternum on the old wooden roller coaster at Puyallup last year. Someone else says, hey, Thrill, if you want to do a ride in Vegas that'll make you poop yourself, I'm not sure that's exactly what I said, but point taken. Make you poop yourself, try the big shot on top of the stratosphere. That's insane. Is that where the one they slingshot your ass up or something like that? Or drop you over the edge? Yeah. Someone else says, I was on the Enterprise ride at Puyallup Fair in the 80s when it stalled. I was stuck in the car at the top at 90 degrees between the legs of my buddy Perry, because that's how they seat you, for 20 minutes. Didn't do rides again. I at least hope your back was to him. And then finally it says, I rode that roller coaster on the stratosphere, front seat. That was the scariest ride I've ever ridden, and it messed me up on heights after that. So they weren't scared of heights before that, but after getting on that ride, they are now scared of heights.
Roller coaster purist, always go to the back of the car, because you get the feeling of the most whip. As far as speed goes.
Yeah, when you're going around turns.
Well, think about, the nose of the front of a roller coaster going over the hill. Well, when you're at the top, so you're going to get all the speed
right,
from the
all
top
the way,
down.
sure.
So if you sit in the back, you're going to get what feels to be a faster experience, even though if it's the same exact speed. It just has a different feel to it.
But there's two different angles on this. So I can be on the back, and I feel like I'm moving faster, but I don't really see the things that are going to freak me out in front of me. Where if I sit in the front car, I still feel like I'm going fast, but you're looking at everything coming up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when you're hanging over that front hill, when I'm in the back, it didn't bug me. You hear the people in front of you screaming. You know what to expect. Their hands are up. But when you're in the front hanging there, that's when I say, one, why did I pick the front car again?
Not on on a log ride, you don't want to be in the front.
No.
That's the worst seat in the house. But I still like a good old-fashioned slow log ride that has a couple drops on it. For whatever reason, it's just fun. Like, we're in the water. This is fun.
It's the final splash.
I don't know why.
Fun.
It's just like...
Right, you're not doing anything. You're going, 5 miles an hour?
You're doing one of those rivers where you're in a circular kind of a raft.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's kind of facing each other.
Those are fun in the summertime.
Those are great. You just kind of spin
around in circles.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mini kayak run.
Then you end up by those jackasses where they can spend like a quarter with the water gun, and then they just target
blast
your ass.
you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that?
Hey, I'm one of those jackasses. It's worth the money, man. Hello, Matt. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Matt, welcome to the program. Ran a question. Let's go with this one. What would you say is the strangest smell that you actually like? The strangest smell that you like.
Like where it's embarrassing to admit it to other people.
I don't know if it's embarrassing, but the smell of the the smell that comes out of your dryer, the dryer vent smell when you're
not a bad smell. But it's designed to smell good. You know what I mean? Like nobody says, "Hey, Bounce has now introduced the poopy scent."
Yeah, but even if you're walking by someone's place and they're doing their laundry and they have a dryer vent that's shooting out, and you can smell it. You're like, oh yeah,
that smells good.
I probably should do some laundry when I get home.
That smells real fresh.
Strangest smell. It smells good. I'm trying to think. Strangely enough, gasoline.
I was about to say gasoline was always mine.
But a lot of people like the smell of gasoline. I like the smell of gasoline. I'm just old enough where I don't try to huff it anymore. Because as a kid, back when you pumped your own gas, or when you first started pumping your own gas, my dad would get out of the car, leave the window down, and my brother and I are in the back seat. You'd think we're hotboxing, man. And he'd have to poke his head and be like, guys, seriously, man, I know you can smell it. Stop huffing it.
Back to what Matt said, though. The detergents aisle at the grocery store.
Great smell.
Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, I don't mind that.
Again, because it's designed specifically for you to like.
One that I don't know if I actually like it. I'm just always intrigued by it, and I can't help but stop and just take a big old whiff. It's that kind of mothball smell. Like old people?
Yes.
I can't help it. Just
dogs, unless they're really kicking, sometimes you just know the smell of your own dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's comforting. It's not really the best smell in the world.
Not, right. It's not that it smells good. I just know my dog has been around.
Except for those Frito feet.
Well, they ask people the strangest...
Now, that's a weird one, because that's a smell that most people don't like, but you enjoy the food. You open a bag of Fritos, and that first poof that comes out, no good things go through my mind, but I'm going to nail the bag of Fritos, in spite of what it smells like.
Parmesan cheese.
Mm-hmm. Does not smell great.
If you did not know how good it tastes, and you just smelled it, you'd be like, ugh.
To me, it smells like old vomit.
Yeah.
If you really get your nose in there, Parmesan, it smells like somebody puked a week ago and you just found it.
They ask people the strange smell they secretly love. Here's a good one for you. Home Depot.
That is not strange.
Once you
smells like wood.
Once you get in that lumber section, that's a great smell, isn't it? I like that smell.
I was in Home Depot this weekend. I just felt like a man being in there.
Yeah.
Time to get a project done.
King permanent markers, not Sharpies. These are the big ones that you used to smell as a kid.
The ones your teachers yelled at you about.
Right. Underground parking garages shows up.
That just smells damp.
It smells like old fuel. It smells more like old oil than gasoline.
A freshly opened pack of cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right there with
People like that. Asphalt.
No, God.
Especially when it rains, too.
New bills, fresh money from the ATM. So the crisp.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby.
Old basements, which, depending on the basement.
It depends on the basement.
Yeah. Old books.
Yep.
The water at amusement park rides. Chlorine. Onions and garlic on your hands after chopping them.
No.
That doesn't bother me.
I don't mind the smell, but I know I want to get it off of my hands as soon as possible.
Because whatever I'm eating does have it in it, yes, but then the next thing that I eat, like the ice cream cone that I'm having afterward, I don't want to smell doggone onions.
That's why the only reason I really want to get it off my hands.
Tire section at Costco smells good to some people.
Sure, tires are great.
Blood, an ice rink.
Blood?
Yes. The smoke from a blown out candle.
Yeah, it's a solid smell.
That's good.
Sharpies, amoxicillin, hand sanitizers, a cat's head.
Yeah.
Bleach, gasoline, and the ground after it rains.
You should get used to the smell of a cat's head because they always smash it directly into your face anyway.
Yes, they do.
By the way, some other people, someone says, I love the smell when they're paving a road. God, I hate that smell. Puppy breath. The smell of jet fuel, the smell of rain on warm pavement specifically. The smell of my own sweat.
I like the smell of the beach, but that shouldn't be sweet. That shouldn't be strong.
Somebody here says my farts. I don't apologize. I respect that.
Everyone likes their own brand.
Diesel exhaust. That one, I'm not bad.
Yeah, that one's interesting to me.
And they say my daughter loves the smell of Home Depot. It's the only reason she'll go with it.
Oh, yeah.
Colorado State University is inviting members of the public to come experience a unique smelling spectacle, the first blooming of its corpse flower.
Oh, yeah.
They had the plant named Cosmo taken to the school in 2016 after 7 years of careful rearing at the College of Agricultural Sciences. Cosmo came out of dormancy around 3 weeks ago. We didn't expect anything exciting, but then 2 weeks ago, it started looking a little bit more full, a little bit more plump, started growing and shooting out stalks. We realized something really big was about to happen. They are commonly known as a corpse flower due to the unique rotting smell they emit during blooming. The flower is expected to begin its bloom on Saturday, and the bloom is only expected to last for 2 to 3 days. Cosmo won't bloom again for another 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
So this is a rare occasion and a big deal because it will be the first bloom for the corpse flower there at Colorado State University. So since they've had it, it's never done this before, and it's getting ready to go here on Saturday.
Have you ever met anyone, though, that has seen a corpse and said the one thing, everyone says the thing they remember most is the smell, but no one's happy about it. So the idea that there's this flower, I kind of get the fascination, but part of me is like, if my wife says, smell this milk, it smells bad. I'm like, if you think it smells bad, then it is bad. I don't need to smell this. I don't want to smell spoiled milk. So the idea of smelling a flower that smells like a corpse, and I know this going in, is like, I have no interest
Funeral
in it.
homes smell terrible.
But that's all chemical because it would smell worse.
Whatever it is, it's a very unique. It's like the nursing home smell. You can't put your finger on it, but urine is
urine.
Random.
By the way, a few more people say the smell of an old record.
All right.
Any cabinet or cupboard that's filled with spices. Like someone here says cocaine. Freshly poured bark.
Yes.
Petrichor, that's a smell that you sniff when it rains on dry pavement.
I don't like it.
Really?
No.
You don't like that smell?
I don't like that smell.
Dude, it screams freshness, and my dog's going to smell bad later.
Yeah, it's a bad smell. I don't like it.
Okay, I don't enjoy it, but every time okay.
Yeah.
Doug, when you scratch certain body parts, you're going to sniff your fingers, and they're like, I don't necessarily mind. So they don't need that down their body spray that ladies are going on about. Again, I recommend a teriyaki flavor if that's what you're going to do.
God.
What would you recommend? If you're going to spray down there
That's
anyway.
just too sweet, dude.
Really?
Yes. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be a sweet smell.
Based on the flavors that you enjoy. So your wife gets this all over body spray.
Sure.
You're going to candy noodle. She has a selection of flavors.
I would want something more robust.
Really?
I would want
steak.
I would want something like a mesquite or like a
Really?
Yeah.
You want it to taste like wood.
Not mesquite, like grilled food. I can see that.
That's why cedar plank salmon in my mind sucks.
Really?
Look, I like smoked food. Don't get me wrong. But first
Some
of all,
woods have a good flavor, Miles.
You're basically, the skin cannot get crispy when it's sitting on a board, right?
Right.
You have to cook it at a lower heat or the board will catch on fire. So it's a very low and slow process, but I never thought to myself, you know what this chicken needs? It needs to taste like wood. Or any food, a steak. Never been cooked on wood.
But it's
you don't mind when whiskey tastes like wood?
That's true. It tastes like the barrel. And then you're happy.
Right.
That's basically, it tastes like wine-soaked wood, which is what it is. It's from a wine barrel that's been blown out in charcoal.
Sure.
So I don't mind that.
Well, then it's burnt wood.
Yeah, it's burnt wood.
You know, in liquid form, then it's fine.
I know.
They can do a Jack Daniels flavor.
I think that's dude, that'd be awesome. I think that's the worst. That's the worst.
My wife would have to swap my head away.
Worst way
but
to
I know
go.
for me, in return for my wife, apparently, what is it called? Blasted broccoli.
Blasted
She loves blasted broccoli,
I do
man.
too.
So I'll give myself a spritz down there and be like,
It smells like fart.
Random.
hello, Isaiah. Welcome to the men's room.
Yo, hola, bitch, hola.
All right, Isaiah, here's your random question. What was the very first job that you had that was an hourly job? What was your first job's hourly rate? What kind of money were you making?
Oh, man. So I used to live in North Carolina, and my first job was Hardee's.
I could not. We can't understand a word you're saying.
I think
brother.
you said you worked at Hardee's, so they got that much.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
This is kind of fuzzy, man. How much was Hardee's paying you? Yeah, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
So my first job was actually Hardee's back in North Carolina, and I was getting paid $8.75 an hour. This was like in, probably like.
We got the basis of it. Do you guys remember your first hourly job rate?
Chi-Chi's as a dishwasher, $5 an hour. And minimum wage, so minimum wage at that point was $3.25 an hour. And I thought for sure that's what they were going to offer me. And the woman that hired me said, well, we start at $5. And I was like, I'm a freaking millionaire. Mm-hmm. You got to be kidding me. $5 an hour?
Mine was $3 an hour at a radio station. And the cross competition, the rock station in town, they needed some additional help, but they also had more hours to offer. And I'll never forget it. I'm on the phone with Tim Satterfield. He's a program director. He said, let me ask you a question. He said, what are you making over there at WVAQ? I said, I make it $3 an hour. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $3.25. I'm like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks right now.
Hey, man, that's huge.
It was.
And I get more hours.
Actually, 25 cents and more hours? I'm like, oh, my goodness, I'm going to be rich.
So my first raise in radio was a result. So they kept sending out memos. Whoever keeps shaking the vending machine, please stop doing it. Finally, after months of this, my boss identified me as a likely culprit and said, man, do you keep shaking the vending machine? I said, yes, I do. And he's like, dude, you realize when they come in and do their inventory, they count the money. I said, yeah, I know this, man. But I said, look, here's the thing. You got me working overnights. You don't pay well. And honest to God, I can't afford, after paying rent and all that kind of thing, I can't afford stuff out of the vending machine. This is like a 50-cent vending machine. I don't have the money. So they gave me a raise, 50 cents an hour.
All right. Yeah, very cool.
Thank you so much.
Well, this is 20 back. Geez. So the job I was telling you, I made $3 an hour. That was in 1989. So now, 2024, there are good news for Waffle House servers. They are getting a raise to $3 an hour. This is before.
Congratulations.
Before tips, keep in mind. It's a tipping job, but still, they get $3 an hour. The minimum wage for tipped employees right now, or used to be before they raised it, was $2.13 an hour.
That when I worked in restaurants, that is basically what the entire wait staff made.
Yeah. As long as they're able to make at least $7.25 an hour with tips, that's what basically Waffle House tells them is the most realistic hourly
it's
wage.
Waffle House.
Once the tips come through. So for $3 an hour, I don't know if you've ever been to a Waffle House, but this is the kind of thing you need to put up with. Police in South Carolina are looking for a customer who showed up to a Waffle House in Myrtle Beach earlier this month, and he was clearly drunk. The reason was
it's Waffle House.
He brought a beer in with him and was drinking it at the counter. Then he was being belligerent. They tried to take the beer from him. He downed the beer, would not let them take the beer until it was empty.
Power move.
Then he pulled out a cigar at the bar and started smoking it. Keep in mind, Waffle House is an open kitchen.
Yeah.
So right where you're smoking is where they're making the hamburgers, right where they're making the breakfasts.
Sure.
The man was drinking and smoking. So one of the female servers, who was making $2.13 an hour, confronted him and snatched the cigar and took it behind the counter. All right. This guy was not happy about that. He freaked, hopped over the counter, followed the employee to the back of the restaurant, pulled out a knife, punched her in the face.
Jesus.
She fell to the floor. He kicked her in the head, then kicked her in the neck. Thankfully, she didn't get cut with a knife, but someone who was with that guy tried to run back there and break up the fight of his buddy that he walked in with.
Okay.
He got stabbed, leaving a trail of blood behind the counter and all the way out the front door. That person left with the assailant, so apparently they weren't that badly injured. No word on the server's condition, and it doesn't sound like the police have anyone arrested or any suspects at this point.
Do they think... So the belligerent guy, is that the guy who they think stabbed him?
Yes, he accidentally stabbed his buddy who was trying to pull him off of the waitress.
Every kitchen I worked in, like, if it makes it back to the kitchen, you will be stabbed. It's like, look, man, I don't know what goes out there in front of the house, but your issue is then with the bartender, the manager, someone who works out there. If you bring your S into the kitchen, you will be stabbed and you'll be beaten with the pans. I mean, that was our absolute standard. Do not bring your nonsense back here, man.
Yeah, man.
We're just trying to cook food and do drugs. Hello, Taylor. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Taylor, welcome to the program. Random question.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
What's that?
As far as smells go, I feel like everyone's grandpas wear the same cologne. I don't know what it is, but they all smell the same, and I love it. It's very comforting. And the smell of an old Band-Aid, it's weird, but I like it.
Of an old Band-Aid?
Old Band-Aid. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, like right when you take it off, like skin healing or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, the smell of scarring, brother. I get it.
All right, Taylor, let's go with this one. If for some reason, from a law enforcement standpoint, just a dare or a challenge, if I went through your phone, what would be the most embarrassing or strange thing that I would find right now on your phone?
Oh, man. So I just had my bachelor party last year.
Uh-oh.
So that could preface it right there. And my buddy bought a bag of man thongs.
Man thongs?
Yeah, like thongs for men. They got that like girdle to hold the boys in.
All right.
Does that make sense? But it's my bachelor party, so I'm having a bunch of fun, and I decide to go running around the casino. And I put pants on, so I wasn't just in just a man thong, but I had them hiked up like a hot chick, if you will.
All right.
A whale.
Like a hot chick, yes.
And it's funny because I bump into this guy who's got like a big afro. Is a white dude, and so I knew it was fake because it was too big, and he had this crazy shirt on. And I was like, "Hey, man, I love your shirt." And he goes, "I love your thong." I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then the next day, I wake up, and my friends are like, "Hey, that guy you bumped into that said he liked your thong." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "That was Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad."
You've got to be kidding me.
No, because we were there for Final Four weekend, and him and the guy who plays Jesse Pinkman or whatever, they were walking through. Yeah. We were walking through the casino, and I bumped into him, and I snapped my thong like some hoochie mama, and he was like, "I love your thong. I love you." He gave me a hug, walked off. I didn't think anything of it until I saw it the next day. I was like, "Oh, cool."
That is cool.
That is the best way to meet a celebrity.
Reason I asked, what would I find on your phone? A middle-aged rich guy in England is suing Apple after his wife found a bunch of text messages that he sent to hookers. Not sure it needs to be said.
He's suing Apple.
They are divorced now. He said he turned to prostitutes in the last few years of their marriage and would text them using an iPhone texting app, iMessage. But he was always careful to delete the messages so his wife didn't see them. Unfortunately for him, he only deleted the messages from his phone, and she eventually found them on the iMac desktop computer that they shared. She filed for divorce less than a month later and took him for all he's worth. Now he's suing to recover that money. He thinks Apple should have to cover what he lost in the divorce, as well as his legal bills. $6.3 million.
Why?
He said he and his wife were very happily married over 20 years, calling it a superb marriage. He said if she found out that he was cheating some other way, they might have been able to work it out, but the texts were just too brutal as far as the communication with him and the prostitutes. There's no way in hell, he said, that she could forgive him. His lawyers are even looking into making it a class action lawsuit if other men come forward and say the same thing happened to them.
Oh, my God. Come on, man. There's an easy solution to this. I'll let you noodle that out.
Don't text prostitutes when you're married. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, we do want to reset the phone lines there over the break, so if you're on hold for the random question, do us a favor, call back, 206-803-ROCK. In the meantime, I'll give you guys a random question. Let's see what you got. Random. What occupation would you say is the most attractive if salary was not involved in the process? Salary doesn't matter. So you can obviously look at a lawyer and go, well, he's successful. Does that make him more attractive? This has nothing to do with the profession itself. Just what are some of the more attractive occupations in your mind? I always say anybody in scrubs. I don't care if you're a vet tech. I don't care if you're a nurse. If you're anywhere in the medical field wearing scrubs. I agree with that.
Sounds dumb, but, Vegas call girl, they really dress the part.
Yes, they do.
And rarely are they ugly. Like I said, now you can go to Aurora. That's a different kind of thing. But in Vegas, when they approach you, you're like, you are super hot, but no.
Okay.
And, are you here to party? And you get all these guys there. It cracks me up. Like, dude, these 3 hot chicks were hitting on me. I'm like, yes, we know, man. You kind of explain what's going on. They're like, oh, years ago, Ted and I were in Vegas. We're sitting at the bar, and this dude comes stumbling in. We don't know him, but sits down at the table. 2 hot chicks sitting with him, and they get up to go to the bathroom, and he's like, these chicks are really digging me, man. I'm telling you, I've got a shot. We said, you absolutely have a shot. Do you really think so? And we said, if you have money, you have a shot. That is why you're with you. So I kind of hit him like, oh. Then I think he'd say, you know what, F it, man, because they were hot, whatever. So he was going to go through with it, but he drank himself until he passed out at our table, and the chicks got up and rolled. I was like, this dumbass. You were going to go for it. You're going to swing for the fences, and you drank yourself into a passed-out stupor.
So this is kind of a weird one. People on social media are talking about the most attractive occupations, assuming that salary is not a consideration. The most liked response was T-shirt cannon guy at sporting events.
What?
Which begs the question, is this most attractive for potential significant others, or just most attractive for you? People seem to use both definitions. So here are some of the weirder occupations off of the list.
By the way, it's telling when you say salary has nothing to do with it. So just know, make money and people find you attractive.
A traveling food critic. So the people who go and you go to different restaurants,
you expense your crab
on the social media aspect of it, do their thing. They say like, look, they know for a fact they don't make a lot of money, but they do get to eat a lot of free meals, and a lot of them are attractive. So they like that one. Forest ranger comes up on the list of most attractive if salary does not matter. A freelance musician. We all know freelance musicians don't make a hell of a lot of money, but you put a guitar in someone's hand, you put them up on stage, they immediately become more attractive.
That's why Mick Jagger gets laid. That he is not a good-looking man outside of the Rolling Stones.
A pro bono veterinarian. Well, they're also doctors. You need to pay them for your service. Pro bono? A pro bono brain surgeon.
Specifically a pro bono one, right.
Come on.
If you charge people to take care of their pets, I'm not down with that.
All you need to know, get pet insurance. As soon as you get that animal.
Don't get pet insurance.
Get pet insurance.
Well, I like how salary's not an option, but it needs to be pro bono. Like, screw you guys.
Well, no, Nationwide just dropped 100,000 people for the pet insurance.
They did.
Like, seriously. And it's going to become a trend. So I'm just saying, like, it's not that pet insurance is a bad idea. It's that insurers themselves are starting to drop pet insurance. Okay. That's all.
On the same tip, working at an animal rescue.
Yeah, because then you seem like a good guy. Right?
Working at a comic shop, but that was specifically guys who liked women who worked at a comic shop.
I think any guy that's really into comics and it's a chick working at the comic book shop, yeah, you're probably going to fawn all over.
You work at my hobby shop. I enjoy seeing you there. Like, come on.
Some of the other strange ones, pizza delivery driver, but probably because they're bringing you a pizza. Librarian.
Really?
It depends on what library you go to, man. Everything else is a distraction in the library, just despite who's working there. If you just walk down to this library down here, man, and you're going to be, it's a culture shock.
Sure, buddy.
It's a culture shock.
Outside of porn, I've never seen what I would call a hot librarian. In my experience, most of them were 60 years old or older, starting from elementary school up till now. I'm sure there are some hot ones. That is definitely not what I think of when I think hot.
Random.
Until, again, you go back to porn. Then they're super hot.
Flight attendants.
Yeah, flight attendant, not bad, man.
But they don't make it. And back to the point of not making a lot of money.
But they travel.
Yeah, but you have the perception of just this glamorous lifestyle.
Right.
Really, they're just running the same route every day.
Every day.
Denver and back. Boise and back. Boise, Denver and back.
Boise.
Well, you only have.
I'm just saying.
Well, look, you don't pick where they're going. You
can't take short flights.
I want the Hawaii flight. No,
well, of course.
That's not how it works. I want the San Diego flight. That's not how it works. Like the military. We'll put you where the hell we want.
I thought they actually even have preferred flights other than the ones that are long or short. I don't know that they spend a whole lot of time in those places. Yeah, let's go to Hawaii.
They turn right. They turn right back around.
You see the airport.
I've talked to a couple of different flight attendants, and the one that seemed the coolest, it's situationally the coolest. She did the New York to where did we fly? To London. She's like that. That's just the route that I'm on. So I have a small place because most cities are stupid expensive, but I have a small place in each. And I'm like,
sure,
that's kind of cool. So she's like, when you do get your 3 or 4 days off, she's like,
depending on where you are,
then I get to run around London or I get to run around New York City. But when you talk to the women, like you said, who flies from Portland to Boise, they don't have that same enthusiasm.
No, they're working their way up. So when a route opens up that they would be interested in, they have an opportunity to apply for.
Right.
Yes.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. All right, Danny, here's your random question. Danny, what is the type of weather that you hate the most, and what is the worst weather event that you've ever experienced?
Oh, well, I talked to you guys before about having been in Iraq, and I hate the heat. I don't like.
Do you hate the heat or do you hate that kind of? Because these are different things, right? 85 degrees by the standards of the Pacific Northwest is quote unquote hot. I don't mind that. 120 degrees, I mind that.
I mean, I like our summers. That's what I like. Like high 70s, low 80s. I don't even. I mean, Florida's all right if you go there for a couple of days. Hawaii's all right if you go there for a couple of days. I just don't like the heat. I like to be outdoors. I like to hike and stuff like that, and I just don't like 90 degrees.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Hawaii does not bother me. There wasn't a lot of humidity, and there's always a breeze.
It's always, 90,
85 to 90, it seemed like.
Somewhere in there, but it feels hot because of the humidity.
But Florida's ridiculous. Yeah. Like Florida, it's like jumping into a pot of boiling water.
Yes. You might be shocked to know that the entire United States going through some crap right now. Hot and cold extremes are expected this week in the U.S., and officials warned residents from coast to coast to take precautions as a heat wave moved east. Heavy rains and flooding could drench the Gulf, and snow threatens parts of the Rockies and the Northwest. Now the extreme heat. Right now, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Colorado, they are in basically a heat wave. More than 63 million people were under heat advisories, stretching from the southwest northward up through Denver into Chicago. Temperatures in Phoenix, 112 on Saturday. Cooled off on Sunday, 110.
Oh, thank God.
That's 6 degrees warmer than normal for that area. So that's what you need to know there. New Mexico, heat advisory in effect there from the plains of Chavez County and Roswell. Pueblo, Colorado was incredibly hot. High Sunday in El Paso was 104. They opened up 5 cooling centers. You keep on going here, and we've got snow in the Rockies and in parts of Montana. North central Idaho, we're under a winter storm warning with as much as 6 inches of snow ready to fall in about 7 hours.
So it's a heat wave or the snow, basically across the country.
Flooding in the Gulf and coast areas, and now Miami is finally starting to dry out after storms dumped up to 20 inches of rain. I think.
Did you see pictures of that? I mean,
yeah,
Miami's. It's almost like New Orleans. Miami is at sea level, but there's still nowhere for the water to go, and also the water is seeping in. They're starting to get salt in the groundwater, kind of thing, right? So when it rains there, like that water sticks around. The worst part is it is so humid. You just seriously, the number of bugs and mosquitoes and everything else that start coming out of the woodwork when you have that much water everywhere and that kind of heat, it becomes this whole different health thing.
Yep. When I was a kid, I did not mind the snow as much. The cold sucked, but no matter what, if it was snowing outside, I was more than likely outside with my friends, building snow forts, sledding, doing all those things, with the idea being that, if this keeps up, I'm not going to have to go to school tomorrow.
Right, there's a benefit.
So I was a cheerleader for snow, and we took many days off. We had to make them all up, though, in the summer. That sucked, but in the time, you could stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock, go sled riding with your friends, and know, hey, man, you probably weren't going to have to get up, but you still had to be up at like 6:30 to listen to the radio or watch the television.
That was the thing.
What counties, had closed, but some were on a 2-hour delay. You'd been up since 1:15 at night, just crossing your fingers, and you look out the window at 2 in the morning and the snow had stopped. You're like,
oh, no.
Oh, God. But with our job and just any job in general, people work from home, snow doesn't stop your day anymore.
Nope.
You're still working. So to me, the cold and the snow is the weather that I hate the most.
I absolutely hate snow. And I grew up in Rochester, and you got used to it. As a kid, you don't know any different. But because it is so cold and awful there all the time, the city never shut down, right? I never had a snow day when I was in elementary school through 8th grade, and it didn't matter how much snow there was. The roads were plowed by the time you woke up, which sucked. I mean, you never had a snow day, but it also didn't bother you because, honest to God, I did not know what a snow day was. I did not know that cities would shut down because it seemed ridiculous. But again, it depends where you live. If you deal with it all the time, you're better suited for it. The flip side is if it hit 75 degrees in March, you might not go to school because you're not prepared for that. And you're sweating and all this. And so we would shut down school because broke 70 degrees in March, but you get a foot of snow overnight. Man, the roads are plowed. Your driveway is plowed. I hate snow now because it just means I'm cold. I'm just not a cold person. But I got a buddy who loves the snow, right? And I mean, this guy wants cross-country ski, snowmobile, all that kind of stuff, but he hates blizzards. But he drives to Idaho every year around Christmas, and I go, man, if you don't like blizzards, why don't you just fly in? Because it's always the same every year.
Well, you can't take your snowmobile.
The past was a nightmare. I'm like, the past is always a nightmare. Like, this is not new. There are certain things that always happen here. You know the past is going to get a lot of snow in December and January. It's not new, and you still bitch about it. But the whole thing is you're going to a place to then spend time in the snow.
Man, I don't know what it was like in Seattle. I was down in Tacoma, University Place on Saturday playing golf. A couple buddies.
Oh, my God.
It was, about 12:15, 12:30. Keep in mind, Chambers Bay is on the water, University Place. It's an old rock quarry. There are no trees on it. There's one tree that sits behind the 15th green, but it's not on the golf course, technically. It is, but it's not.
Right.
It's so far out there. There is nowhere to take shelter. And, man, we look over, I have never seen that dark of a wall come across the Puget Sound before, and it was moving.
Oh, yeah.
And we just got blasted. 3 carts were dumped over. These are push carts, not like electric.
Right.
Sure. Push carts dumped over, shoved into sand traps, blowing down the fairway. It was.
You said there were drinks and cigarettes flying
everywhere. Like everything's flying out of the push carts.
Oh, God.
You could not escape. The rain hurt your face. It was hitting you so hard. It was blowing sideways, but this was not Seattle rain. These were hard drops. I mean, it was like you were in a shower.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I mean, like taking a shower.
A little bit of hail, too, yeah.
And it was cold.
Yes.
And it was not warm, and the wind was whipping, and I'm just like, my God, when is this going to end? And it finally ended, and then, of course, another one came, and I'm just like,
It was this weird stutter stop weather.
Oh, my God.
You know,
it was brutal.
Like you were saying, it happened from the morning until later on in the afternoon. I was trying to figure out when I could get my dog out because, you know, I'm playing games. I don't care. The rain's coming like, oh, shoot. All right, it's going to be a bad day outside. 20 minutes later, beautiful, bright, sunshiny blue skies.
Then hell behind it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, hell was behind it.
And then it did it again.
And the problem is you can't really necessarily put up an umbrella because the wind is blowing so hard.
It's pointless at that.
Yeah, it's like if you've seen the people who walk downtown in the corridors where all the wind whips through near the Columbia Tower and everything, and they got an umbrella and they're from out of town and the damn thing's inside out. And it's just, it's the same thing.
I don't know the last time I saw a person with an umbrella in downtown Seattle because of the buildings, the wind just rips off of the sound, right? And you know it's tourists, and all of them are fighting with their umbrella. Like, no one actually just has it over their head.
And golf
It's
umbrellas are
inside
bigger,
out.
so they're even more of a kite. Basically, you just put up a wind kite.
But we're like, dude, just put it down and put up your head. This is part of the reason you don't bother with an umbrella, because you spend more time trying to fix this thing, and as soon as they snap it into the correct position, they take 2 steps, and it's blown back up. And I'm like, you are an adult. How long are you going to do that? I've been watching you for 5 minutes while I smoke a cigarette. At some point, you have to accept that the wind is going to win this fight,
You're going to get wet.
Mm-hmm.
Just get wet and get where you're going.
Look, I love the summers here. They're great. I mean, 75 degrees in Seattle, to me, is equivalent to 80, 85 in other places, just based on the quality of the air, the fact that we get a lot more sun. It does get hot and all those things. The biggest problem that I have with where we live is the fact that in the summer, I used to love to water ski. I love swimming. I love getting in a pool. I love swimming in a lake. And that's not really attainable until maybe late August. And
the water's so cold,
It's still 5-year-old cold. Like where the kids go in and don't care. To me, it's freezing. And I can't. It sucks that you can't use the water. It sucks you can't be out on a boat, jump in, cool off, then get back in the boat.
Oh, you'll cool off.
You will cool off. You might drown.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And that's why early on in the summer, there's so many just terrible stories of people who maybe have just moved here or go camping, don't understand the temperature of the river or the lake that they just jumped into, Lake Washington. You always read a couple terrible stories out of there just based on the fact that you're on a boat, it's hot, you've been out there, people think they can jump in, one of the deepest lakes in the state. And you might not come back up, where someplace like Chelan will warm up a little bit more.
Sure.
And you can kind of actually swim there, but maybe Crescent Lake. But in this area, I don't know one place where I go like, we're going to go there and swim all day.
But the flip side, even when I lived in Baltimore, it is a waterfront city. Water temperature's fine. You just can't get in the water because of all the chromium and mercury.
Yeah,
right. So I mean, at least here,
but you can get into a pool.
You can get into a pool. You can get into a pool here, But I mean, just like you could not get into the water there. It's like, dude, the water temperature's great, but your skin will be eaten off of your bones.
My brother-in-law, my now brother-in-law, back when we were kids, we would float down the Green River. He where his house was actually had a trail that we could walk down, and it actually led out to the Green River.
Right.
And so we would take inner tubes down there, but we had to find the right time of year. Early on in the summertime, the river was plenty high, but like he was saying, the water was too doggone cold. So we'd have to wait until right around mid-July, maybe if we were lucky, early August, where the sun is beaten down and there's not near as. It's still plenty warm, but then as the summer went on, that river started getting shallower and shallower because there's less and less water coming down off the mountain. But regardless, every time that we went down there, we tried everything on my brother-in-law. He's a skinny dude, not a whole lot of meat on his bones, but we would go down there and his lips were purple riding on that doggone river.
I felt that way Saturday. I felt that way Saturday.
Yeah.
And a guy said, texted in, you don't think you check the weather forecast? Yes. It changed.
Of course.
It changed Friday afternoon from 4 until 7. The midnight forecast was different. They pushed everything until Sunday. Sunday, we were under sunny skies the entire day. Right. Not a drop of rain. It was supposed to rain all frickin' day on Sunday. So as far as, no disrespect to weather forecasters, this is, in fact, I know, one of the most challenging places
hard area
in the United States to predict the weather. And Walter Kelly would go on and on about that. Like, look, one of the reasons I enjoy my job is where if I was in Phoenix, where he lives now, the forecast is easy. It's
right.
hot. You're going to be guaranteed to be correct most of the time. But when you're here and you're a meteorologist, that is not an easy gig.
No.
And
not to be accurate.
Well, exactly.
I would think it's a fun gig because every kind of weather you can imagine, you actually do get to study here, which is great. But everyone, it doesn't matter where you live. Everyone holds the weather person accountable for what the weather. And it's like, look, man, they're scientists, but in the end, they're guessing.
Right. The 50 fishing boats are out on the Sound. They checked the forecast for Saturday. That's why they all blew into a cove to try to seek shelter, like they were having a boat race, because it came up so fast that it was pretty. When that storm passed over us, it went from the darkest cloud you'd ever seen to a bright white cloud. That's how much it dumped within that half an hour.
Right.
I mean, it completely lifted that cloud. It just hit whatever it hit over the water and dumped.
Well, and whatever forecast that you find here for Washington State, you better be looking at your exact city for that forecast.
It was sunny all day Sunday. You said it was cloudy up here all day on Sunday.
Yeah, but it barely rained. But like what you went through even on Saturday, I would have had no idea.
Right.
It was a little gray. We got rain on and off, but there was no...
How many times do we come in here on a Monday and they talk about the horrible storm that happened over the weekend? It's like, dude, it was sunny skies for me.
I mean, what are you talking about?
During the winter, everybody was like, man, it said it was supposed to snow out, so we got barely just a dusting on the road. Meanwhile, my sister up in Linwood's buried. She's got to dig herself out.
No, there's. I looked at the forecast 3 times just for today. The one thing that's not going to show up today, according to Weather Channel and AccuWeather, which have both apps, is rain. It's rained for the last hour downtown.
Yeah, right, exactly. They're guessing.
So yes, the answer is I did check the forecast. I did. It just didn't work out in my favor. Your guess is as good as mine. Count of the categories: United States presidents and the band known as Metallica. And we've got your emails coming up next in the men's room at KISW.com.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at AmericanStandardAir.com/electrification.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Welcome to a trip you'll never forget in Denver, where summer sunshine sparks mountain adventure, where neighborhood strolls lift spirits sky high, and where music takes center stage at Red Rocks. Catch a baseball game at Coors Field, step into new dimensions at Meow Wolf, and take flavor to the next level under the stars at a Michelin restaurant. Denver, always welcome. Plan your trip at visitdenver.com/summer.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut up our categories today: U.S. presidents and the band known as Metallica. But first, time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
One from our random question about the biggest age difference between you and someone you've dated, as we find out that Bill Belichick, who is 72 years old now, has a 24-year-old competitive cheerleader girlfriend.
Yeah, because why not?
Guys, my husband and I are 15 years apart. We've been together for almost 20. He waited until 2019 to ask me to marry him because when we met, we were both going through a divorce. I told him I never wanted to marry again. We were together since that first time that we met. That from Shannon. There's a positive story for you. As we move on to the birthday emails, gentlemen, it would be a pleasure to hear from you guys. A little green beans and the dirty Germans discussing fondue. Also, Ted, I'm sure you'd like to know that if you ever gave Thrill that F Kale towel.
Oh, yeah, I got that, man.
I got it hops and props this year. Or if you kept it to yourself. Cheers, Bacholas. So Ted did give you that?
He gave it to me. I walked in the house. I showed my wife. She immediately laughed. She said they could not have found a better target for something that says F Kale.
Okay.
Green bean.
What?
Green bean.
Okay.
Green bean.
Yes.
Green bean.
Yeah, the other dirty German is not here today, so I'll reveal a dirty little secret about him. He used to be into deer, so fondue is what he had to wipe off.
Guys, I want to wish my coworker Melissa happy birthday. Please give her the following: an OG fish sandwich, the dirty Germans talking about Snoqualmie Falls, and Mike reciting the bitter batter. And you guys talking all over yourselves about UFOs and aliens. Thank you, guys. That from Stevie, the Packers fan.
Oregon fish sandwich.
Yeah, the first time I went to Snoqualmie Falls, I was with your girlfriend, and we let the clean waters wash her clean. She had to spend at least an hour and a half under there. I got her real dirty. Some parts of me are stickier than others.
Betty bought her about some butter, but she said it's butter bitter. If I put it in my batter, make my batter bitter. So she bought a better butter, put it in her bitter batter, made her bitter batter. So just better Betty bought her butter.
UFOs.
Oh, UFOs and aliens, yeah, man, it's a simple one. UFOs, I have no doubt. I've seen one myself, but aliens, who the hell knows, man? Other than maybe a freaking octopus, man, or a slug. They have no place on this earth.
Okay, let's see here. All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you.
Ya's the Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Take a moment, a couple programming notes here for you real quick. If you haven't had the Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing yet, you're a fool. You can do so this Saturday as the Men's Room World Tour rolls on. And we'll be at the Lime in Kirkland from 2 until 4. Now, back to the weather forecast. We said you can't trust it from day to day, but right now, they're saying the temperatures are going to ramp up this week. Maybe have a lower 80s day. Yeah. To do a little day drinking.
at the Lime in Kirkland. Again, 2 to 4. It's absolutely free. No ticket is required. What are you doing there? You're drinking beer. You're hanging out with us and supporting the Fisher House. As we'll have the new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven, the Men's Room Beer Brought Sausage from Uli's World Famous Sausage, and the Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from the San Juan Salsa Company. A percentage of the proceeds from all of those products go to the 3 local Fisher Houses.
Correct.
And just understand what that is. That is basically the equivalent of a Ronald McDonald House at VA military hospitals. So, in a lot of times, you'll have a service member or a veteran, and they're going through some stuff. They might be in the hospital for longer than they wish. The Fisher House gives the families of these soldiers and veterans the opportunity to have a place to stay. So, if your daughter got injured, and you're from Indiana, and she's going to be at the hospital at Joint Base Lewis McChord.
Yeah.
The family has a place to stay instead of sleeping in their cars. They don't know how long their son, their daughter is going to be there, their father. Oftentimes it takes longer than not as far as physical therapy and all the different things.
I've heard some horror stories. And part of the reason they did this, because like you said, just hearing all these different people that slept in their cars in the parking lot of a hospital for months while the service member recovered. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So please, if you want to stop by, it's absolutely free, 21 years of age or older. The World Tour at the Lime in Kirkland. Again, that's Saturday from 2 until 4. All right, let's get a contestant on the line if we can for your guess is as good as mine at 206-803-ROCK and a couple of updated locations. Thank you for continuing to send these in. Ola Macholas. On Saturday, we were shopping at Purpose, which is a clothing store that donates a percentage of every sale to Atlas Free. They fight human trafficking. In the men's store we were at in Tacoma, they have a little bar, and they carry Men's Room IPA from Black Raven.
Yeah.
It's the favorite brewery of ours, and this IPA is in the top 5, absolutely delicious. On our way home that afternoon, we stopped at Local Boys for steaks and 2 sixers of Men's Room IPA. Best day ever. Cheers, guys. That from Christy. Christy, thanks for the pictures on that and the update. Looked like you and the man had a good time. Men's Room IPA at Craft Beer in Auburn on tap. Cans sell out too quickly, but they do 32-ounce cans to go and growlers. You ever seen that where they got a pour room, whatever? They can put it in a growler for you, but they've also got a can with a sealable lid.
Nice.
So you can just get as many cans of the 32-ounce variety as you want. What else do we got here? Men's Room Beer Finder. Safeway in Kent on Washington Avenue. From the shelf to the cart to the fridge, you all are my favorites. Cheers, guys. That from Chris.
Oh, thank you,
and
Chris.
some more locations. Men's Room IPA from Black Raven can be found at the Shell Red Barn, the Safeway Lake Serene, and the Safeway in Monroe. The Hagen in Snohomish.
Sure it's not Hagen?
No, it's Hagen. The Snohomish Fuel and Food, ABC Grocery, the Easy Mart Marine View, Cypress Mini Mart, John's Handy Mart.
Yeah, John.
Manhattan Express Grocery. Valley Wine and Spirits, Sky Gas, Total Wine in Tukwila, the Pit Stop Grocery, Lucky 3 Food Store, Lakewood Food and Gas, the AM/PM in Federal Way, American Lake Market, South Bay Market, Gravely Lake 76 Station, at the Arco AM/PM in Snohomish, Carnation Farms, the Old 76. Also available at Vic's Market, Grocery Outlet Port Angeles, Waterfront Deli Market in Seattle, Up in Smoke number 2 carries the Men's Room IPA. South Center Chevron, the Mount View Chevron, the River Edge Market, the Third Little Pig, Fisherman's Green Market in Delhi, Total Wine in Linwood, 24 East Hill Market, the Shelton Smoke and Beer Store, Sultan Liquor Store, B&E Meats and Seafood Newcastle, and the Shell Station Johannes. Some of the locations carry the brand new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven.
This is so stupid, and I do not know why, but I'm always so happy when gas stations carry it.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense to me. But for whatever reason, it's like at the Chevron. Like, hell yeah, Chevron.
It's at the Shell Station on Leary.
Why do I care? Why does that matter? But for whatever reason, I'm like, that is so freaking awesome.
Kind of feels like getting it on the go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess maybe that's what it is. Because you're not there to grocery shop. You're not getting distracted. Face it, you're buying condoms, a Snickers bar, and our beer. Is that an unusual?
The son of a good time right there.
Yes, it is, brother.
And put it up all on the counter and smile. And wink at them.
These are for you.
Yeah. Time for Your Guess. This is as good as mine. It's an easy game to play. You pick from one of 2 categories and try to see as many as you can get right before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant, ready to play Your Guess is as good as mine.
Hello, Terry. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, amigos.
Hola.
Terry, welcome to the program. Your categories today, as we have tickets for you to see Metallica all day on Friday right here at The Rock, starting at 6 a.m. with the Daily Mix Morning Show, lasting all day. The category, the top 10 Metallica songs of all time.
All time.
Next up, we have 10 celebrities that Americans would like to see run for president. According to a survey of 2,000 Americans, the celebrity we'd most like to see run for president, we have 10 of those.
All right.
Just so you know, Terry, 3 are billionaires, 6 are male actors, and 1 is a former female talk show host. So, do you want to go with Metallica, or do you want to go with the top 10 celebrities Americans would like to see run for president?
How many Metallica? Is it 10 Metallica too?
I'm sorry?
Is it 10 of the Metallica also?
Yes, it'd be the 10 Metallica songs.
Yeah. Oh, yes, these are the top 10 Metallica songs voted by the fans of Metallica.
Okay, let's go for president.
Great question, Terry.
Man, oh man.
Okay. 2,000 Americans were asked which celebrity they'd like to see run for president. We have the top 10. Again, here is your clue. 3 billionaires, 6 actors, 1 former female talk show host. There is only 1 female on the list. 36% of those said they weren't interested in voting for any celebrity, at least not any on the list that they were asked to choose from. So you know how the game is played, Terry. You get 3 strikes. Try to get as many right in said category. For 3 strikes and you're out, there are 10 correct answers.
Okay, let's go for the female first. I would say Oprah.
Oprah Winfrey is correct. The former talk show host. 9% of the people surveys said that, she is a billionaire as well. Oprah Winfrey would make a great president. So we've got the talk show host taken care of.
Are these in no particular order there, Miles?
They are based on percentage.
So which number would Oprah be?
Oprah Winfrey's number 6. She had a percentage of 9% of the 2000 survey.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, let's go for The Rock.
The Rock.
Yep.
Great guess. Number 2 on the list. 13% of the respondents said Dwayne Johnson. That would be my man. I think a lot of people would say that.
Only The Rock. I would agree. Mr. President, The Rock.
I'm wondering if somebody else on that list wouldn't have been a mock running mate in like an SNL skit, I think is what it was. Is that true, Miles?
Maybe.
There was a skit where The Rock was one half of the running party there.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm thinking, I've heard The Rock, I've heard Oprah, but I've also heard like Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, that was the one.
Maybe Elon Musk, because you said a billionaire.
There are 3 billionaires on the list.
Like, not everyone loves the guy, but...
We have 5 actors remaining. Right. I know Dwayne does a lot of different things, but I count him in the actor.
Yeah.
So the billionaires, I would go Musk, I'd go Bill Gates, I'd go, what's his name?
Bezos.
Well, I'd say Warren Buffett.
Oh, Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, not a bad guess. Not on the list. Yeah.
Okay, let's go Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
Oh, no.
Not on the list. Yep.
Okay, let's go for McConaughey. All right.
Matthew McConaughey. 8% of Americans would love to have Matthew McConaughey be their president. He comes in at number 7 on the list of the top 10 celebrities Americans would like to see run for president.
Didn't he go for like governor of Texas or congressman from Texas?
He was kicking around for a little bit. Yeah, something like that. He wouldn't be the worst.
I would say, I don't think he's on the list, but being it's my 3rd strike, I was going to say Clint Eastwood, but I'm not going to pick him.
Okay.
That'd be it. I think it'd be it. Let's go celebrities. Let's go Al Pacino.
Oh, God.
Al Pacino.
Oh, gosh.
Not on the list.
We were all Americans.
Okay. So we've got Dwayne Johnson at number 2.
Now, this is what we're going to do.
That would be
This is what we're going to do. I don't want any arguments.
We've got Oprah Winfrey at 6 and Matthew McConaughey at 7.
I'll go Tom Hanks then. He was the one in that mock running group.
Tom Hanks, number 3. 12% of Americans said, Tom Hanks for president.
Let's do Elon Musk.
Now, people here point out Musk can't run. He's not born in the U.S., but this is all hypothetical, right? I mean, it doesn't matter.
What does that mean?
Elon Musk, number 9.
Okay.
7% said, give me Elon as the president of the United States. We've got 2 billionaires left.
2 billionaires left.
And the rest are all actors, most of which have won Academy Awards.
Did anyone say Bill Gates?
All of them have won Academy Awards.
No, we haven't gotten Bill Gates on there. Bill Gates?
Bill Gates, number 8. All right. 7% said Bill Gates would be
I have a very limited number of billionaires that I can name off the top of my head.
So who's the last one then?
He might barely be a billionaire, but he's definitely a billionaire.
He might barely be a billionaire.
But he's very famous. You'll see him tonight.
Someone here says Joey Chestnut.
You're going to see this billionaire tonight.
We'll see him tonight.
You're going to see him tonight. Prime time. The most watched show of Monday night. He will be on it.
Dang. This is screwing me up.
Even though he sold the most percentage of
Mark
his
Cuban.
ownership. Mark Cuban.
All right. Cuban.
Mark Cuban is number 10 at 7%. Also on Shark Tank, obviously, but he still owns a percentage of the Dallas Mavericks. They're playing tonight in the NBA Finals.
From the text lines, Ryan Reynolds.
That is not a bad guess. He's not on the list.
He's Canadian. He can't do it.
Well, Elon Musk is South
Yeah,
African.
fair enough.
He's a what they call an African American.
Yeah.
He's got residencies in both places, all but the penis. He's got the money. Okay, so we have
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington is number one at 15%.
Nice.
Now we're on the Academy Award winner team.
I'm stealing this from the text lines. It's not me really coming up with it. Schwarzenegger.
I thought that was a great. He would have been a pick for me, but he wasn't on the list, I guess, or didn't make the top 10.
We're missing two.
We said Academy Award
We've
winners.
got Mark Cuban, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Matthew McConaughey.
How about Gary Sinise?
Oprah Winfrey.
Gary Sinise.
Dwayne Johnson, Tom Hanks, and Denzel Washington. There are two.
George Clooney,
number 5 at 10%. Now, one guy is basically the Walking Dead right now. There's no way that he could ever be president.
Is it Clint Eastwood?
It is Clint Eastwood.
Oh, man.
Number 4, 10% people said. And Clint is, he's just up there in age. I'm sure, considering his age, he's a very capable person.
Sure.
Just not capable enough to be president of the United States.
How old is he? Is he
Have you seen
in
the
the 90s?
Have you guys seen
He's in his 90s.
the last picture that was put out of Clint
He
Eastwood?
does not look good.
No.
Very old, very frail.
Yeah.
I got to look.
But back in the day, and he does have some political experience. As you said, Steve, he was the mayor of
94 years old. He was born 1930.
Probably acts younger than the two candidates we have right now, though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, there you go. And your guess is as good as mine. What's that?
Okay. No, I just saw Clint Eastwood now.
He is.
Times have changed.
They sure have. Coming up, we will drink and toast for the shot of the day, and we do have the headlines that Mike is not working on coming up at 5:50-ish. No, 4:50.
Well, the headlines I'm not working on is coming up now.
4:50, yeah.
Yeah, 4:50.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, and then
we'll do that, and then we'll drink.
Oh.
Then we'll start drinking some more.
We were supposed to wait?
And then we'll do TV time.
Okay.
I had no idea. You are listening to The Men's Room.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, coming up minutes, we'll drink and toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check out with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. A new study suggests that a high-fat diet may actually fuel anxiety.
Really?
Yeah.
Should be a very anxious country overall then, right?
For the most part.
I mean, we all enjoy our fat.
We do, but we're talking about a high-fat diet, and let's face it, how many studies have come out saying Americans are more anxious than ever?
Yeah, but I don't necessarily connect that to the fat.
And also,
because we've been eating fat forever.
It depends on the source as well.
Yeah.
The dairy fat they used to say is really bad for you, but it turns out that butter is much safer to eat than margarine.
Sure.
So between the two, obviously olive oil is your best choice, but if you're going for buttery flavor, butter is better. Eggs aren't the worst in the world for you. Granted, not fat, but...
Right.
I mean, I want a ribeye that's well marbled. If I'm having a steak, that's what I want.
Damn right,
so
man.
If I'm gonna, I don't want like baked French fries. If I'm going to eat French fries, I want them out of a deep fryer.
Yeah, deep fry those sons of bitches.
I want them. I don't want sweet potato fries.
We never deep fried when we were kids.
I want French fries.
We didn't either because they were made at home. It came out of the Ore-Ida bag.
That's right.
Right.
Put them on the
crinkle
sheet.
cut.
Yeah.
But you also understood, and it sounds stupid now, but like those are the fries you're going to get at home. But that's why I got so excited just to go to McDonald's, right? Like I still want French fries. They're just not those nasty ass ones at home.
See, man, when I was young and stupid, I didn't get the correlation. I didn't get why the fries that I made at home were not as good as the fries that I had because I had my first job, not my first job, but I worked as a dishwasher. And I was like, I know what it is. When as soon as you're done cooking them, you put them in a bowl with that Johnny seasoning and you flip them around, and that's how you get some really good taste. Of course, they were made in the oven, so they didn't keep any of the flavor on there. Didn't realize till later. I was like, oh no, they're just dripping with grease, so they can actually sit there and hold on to the flavor.
Grease is America's friend.
Yes, sir.
Look, man, when it comes to a really good, even when you get a pizza, right? Like, God's a great pizza. Typically, it's with all that orange juice sitting on the top. You got to damp it out with a
There is a
napkin.
balance, though, because now the older I get, my stomach's starting to hurt when I do that, man.
I'm not saying that health-wise you can handle it, but man, you know it's going to be good.
New York Post has an article in the new media buzzword, precrastination.
Yes, I saw that. And I don't know why it made me mad. Like, we don't need a term for it. It's called, I'm well organized, I plan in advance.
Right. It's basically getting things done as soon as you possibly can or before they even need to be done.
My philosophy is if I think about it, do it. Oh, I need to take the trash out tonight.
Just do
it. Boom. I am on it.
Right.
I just do it then because I will forget. And then the truck will come at 7:30 in the morning and I'm jumping up real quick, throwing on shoes, running down as fast as I can, trying to get that crap out. I just rather do it when I'm thinking of it.
Right. And I agree. We already have one of the most complicated languages in the world to speak. Do we need to overcomplicate it with making words for things that we don't need to make words for?
But I think...
Hey, stop procrastinating over there.
I think with the uprise of social media, they love coming up with new words because then that becomes the buzzword and you get more clicks. But no, we don't need a word for someone who just gets us done.
Well, people need these fancy words to say that they're doing to sound fancier. I'm a procrastinator. Okay, so you just get your stuff done.
You get stuff done. Good.
Congratulations.
Good. I'd like more. Our
Quit
text
telling me
line.
about it.
Sorry, our text line is not technically down, but it will not allow us to respond. Oh, there we go. Okay. Because someone says, I know you're not essing on crinkle cut fries. I want to make it clear. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I do not like the crinkle cut.
Like them.
It's not about the cut, it's about the make. You rarely go to places that have a good make of the crinkle cut fry.
So what do you have to do to get a good crinkle cut fry? Why is 90%?
Because they're all baked. Everybody that makes a crinkle cut fry bakes them unless you go to places like Shake Shack that actually makes them proper, and they're damn fine fries.
I got to try Shake Shack crinkle cut deep fried fry.
You have, and you liked it.
I did?
Yes.
Okay, so there it is. It's about the deep fry. I apologize to the crinkle cut. But still, when I see you, it's like my PTSD, like this is going to be an awful French fry.
That's fair.
I don't even want to try it.
That's fair. You have a bad association of it.
I absolutely do.
But man, if they're deep fried, it's a fry. It's great.
Why do most people then choose to bake crinkle cut fries?
I don't know.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, in theory, if you have a deep fryer, it shouldn't matter then what type of fry cut you want to put in there, but stop baking them.
Right.
Stop it.
Just knock it off.
Right. Deep fry the damn thing.
Mm-hmm. There's a beach in North Carolina with a solar-powered beach Roomba.
What does it just comb the
Pretty much.
the beach?
It cleans up all the trash that's left over, the cigarette butts and all that whatnot. And
Dude,
it does. It just rolls there like a doggone giant Zamboni, and it's just sweeping up the
When you
sand.
when you go to a beach that has thousands of people, like a Myrtle Beach or Ocean City or a Daytona Beach, you should see the size of those sand sweeping vehicles.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they have. I mean, they are you can't even believe that thing exists, and it's just like it looks like this Star Wars looking Empire machine rolling down the beach. They roll over people who pass out on the beach.
That's happened, several times.
Really? Oh yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Somebody goes
people
in there,
fall
passes
asleep on the
out.
beach. Yeah, man, and it's and it ends the way you think it does.
Oh, my God.
Right.
That's not good. Fair to say that we all love women here on this fair program, and as much as we do love you ladies, let's face it, a truth that we know is that you can say one thing, but it means entirely the opposite. And just in case you didn't know the list,
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 things women say that mean the opposite.
I'm fine.
How about this little gem of positivity? It's okay, honey. It happens. You're under a lot of stress. And that last whiskey probably didn't help. But it felt good for a minute.
A minute.
Thanks. That totally saves the battered and bruised psyche. By the way, liar, liar, pants on fire.
I will say I will take the lie over the truth.
Yeah, but you know they're lying.
You
I
do.
mean, like, you know that you have a limp, flaccid penis. And at that point, you might as well be honest, because nothing that anyone says
But you
is
don't gotta
going...
be mean about it.
You don't have to be mean, but you can say, I'm disappointed that you couldn't get your thing to work, because I really wanted to do this whole,
Right.
And it's like, right, it sucks for both of us. It sucks for both of you, but you're the one who's humiliated. Like,
right.
I want it to work. Look, it works at times I don't want it to.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's an unexpected house guest. And
The
I'm like,
importance of the lie there is I do know that you're lying. However, you're letting me, you're telling me that it's not the end of the world. You're making me feel better. You and I both know I failed this mission. Okay.
I know it's not the end of the world. This will have no consequence on anything except this moment.
Right.
And this moment sucks.
The lie just doesn't put any more on me than I already need.
Okay.
Because now I'm in my own head. Now, next time I'm playing a game, man, I'm going to be shaking in the batter's box there.
But I feel like you should be honest. Like, I'm pissed. Are you pissed? I'm pissed. I am disappointed right now.
Right.
I want this to work.
Well, that sucks.
Because you're really, really hot and you're naked and you want to do this.
So these are things that women say that mean the opposite. Bottoming out on here on the list is we'll see. We should do this. Yeah, we'll see.
That means I'm going to let you down at a later date.
Correct.
We are not going to do that.
I'm not telling you no now, but I will later.
Generally, we're around people if it's we'll see.
But I will say this. It is kind of like a foreign language, right? So we'll see. I understand that to mean the answer is no, but when you ask me again, then I'll tell you.
Right. We'll see is a non-committal answer to the question.
Yes.
Because it doesn't say yes either. So you can't get your hopes up. No, right. We'll see. Well, I saw that the answer is no.
Yes.
I'm not very hungry. I'll just have a bite of yours.
That's a damn lie.
That's a damn lie.
Because your bite involves you doing that bite like 7 times, and eventually it actually leaves my plate and ends up fully in your mouth. And that's why it seems like I'm being mean, but it's like, hey, can I try some of your blank? And I'm like,
you have ice cream out of a pint, and you don't get the pint back for 4 more bites.
So I will tell you the deal.
This is a really good flavor. I should get this.
I'll tell you.
That's mine.
I'll tell you the deal I'm going to make. When I'm almost done, you can finish it.
There you go.
But seriously, the same thing like with the remote, the computer. If I have, let me check something real quick on the computer. Real quick for the next hour and a half. And now she's on TikTok videos. And I'm like, babe, I actually got the computer because I was going to do something.
I don't even look at the menu at the restaurant anymore. I let the wife look at the menu at the restaurant. She goes, I don't know what I want. Do I want the salad or do I want the chicken bake? I want the salad, but I want some of the chicken bake on the side. Like, I'll get the chicken bake.
Right. It's always that. I'm always like, you can pick my side.
Right.
I don't care about the side. You want fries, get fries. You want a salad, you can have the salad.
Mm-hmm.
But my meal, it's going to be mine.
So it's the same thing. Whenever we go to Olive Garden, she wants the baked ziti. She wants that 5-cheese ziti, which is really good. And then I really want the chicken parmesan because it comes with 2 chicken parm patties, and she gets one of them.
See, man, you got, okay, you need to make a deal. Like, look, I get at least 1/3 of your baked ziti.
Or I get more damn breadsticks.
Or more breadsticks, right.
You get what you want. How about that? I get what I want.
So Miles, you go to your wife and you say, honey, I'm going to go out with the guys. And she says, sure, go have fun.
Then I'm going to go have fun.
Right. I don't care at that point.
Yeah, even if she said no. Okay, I'm going to go have fun.
Right. Because at this point, I'm already in trouble.
Yeah. You're already mad, right? Yeah. So at that point, I'm exercising that to the fullest extent. Although somebody here says...
Don't stay up for me.
A fair question from the text. When guys say we'll see doesn't mean no. It depends. If I'm talking to my wife, it means we will negotiate this later. If I'm speaking to my children, it means it'll be no later.
Right.
Or it means I have to talk to your mom so I don't make this decision alone and get lambasted.
I'm about to say, and I will turn in my man card with this. If I say we'll see to my friends, it's I have to go ask my wife if I can.
Oh, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah, man, we'll see. But no one wants to say my wife would be so mad.
And it's not that she pulls the leash and no, you cannot do that. It's like, I honestly don't know if I have something else planned for that day. I have to go check.
Because I don't plan 8 months in advance.
Right.
I think Jeff Foxworthy put it best years ago. And he said, like, you're at the bar, you want to get, like, 10 more beers with your friends, but now your wife has called you, okay? It's about 11:30 at night, so you're in that kind of gray zone. So he says you talk to your wife, and he goes, the real conversation is, no, listen, I don't even want to. I'm going to drink one more beer, which means 3 shots, ladies. I'm just going to drink one more beer because Miles is really messed up. I want to make sure that Miles gets home okay. Meanwhile, Miles is having the same conversation with his wife. Correct. But then when you walk back to your friends and your friends say, what did you say? I told her to kiss my ass.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm a grown-ass man.
I told her what's what.
I can do whatever I want. Things women say that mean the opposite. Let's meet halfway. Guys, if she says that, she's kind of the equivalent of a car dealer that says, I can only take 55 for this car.
Right.
Fine, 45. Let's meet halfway. My ass.
So I can tell you again, I'm going to take 80%.
How about this one? You're telling your wife something that you really enjoy. You two are having the conversations. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, does not approve of this particular
She's not
behavior.
interested. No, she's not interested in the slightest. But she's glad that you are.
Well, it's good that you're talking and sharing things.
Sure.
Because men typically just come home and be quiet.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, nothing to share. How was your day? And to me, good, bad, indifferent, whatever.
Right.
Then there's all these questions, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer that, man. Because I kind of take my day as kind of a full project. So some parts of the day suck.
Thank you. I was
some
about to
parts
say
of
the
the day
same
were
thing.
good, and then we kind of weigh it out in our head, and you go, it was pretty decent, right? And I mean, this thing went wrong, this thing went right. In the end, like, my exact response is, it was pretty decent.
You're not talking. You're not saying much this evening. We just started a movie that you picked out 10 minutes ago, and I'm watching the movie. Well, you want to talk about anything? No. Why did we start a movie?
We can talk about the movie when the movie's done.
Right. Yeah. You just said we're going to watch a movie.
There are some
and now I'm
out there.
quiet, and that's how you watch a movie.
There are some that just can't fathom that we honestly have nothing going on in our heads.
No, I'm not thinking about anything.
No, I'm watching the movie.
I am zoning out because
look at Tom Cruise.
I can relax.
Look at him go.
Yeah, I think if you can actually read a guy's mind, a lot of times, especially when you first get home from work, you'd hear like the Meow Mix song. Meow, 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 meow.
That's right.
That's what's going through my mind right now.
Just little earworms.
Yeah.
Right. And it's funny what you said about the day being like a project, because I thought the exact same thing that, how was your day? The job got done.
Yeah.
I did it.
And I enjoyed it this day, or I did not enjoy it this day, but it was a successful day.
But I listen to you. I still listen to you bitch about your coworkers for 15 minutes, the same problematic ones. I sat there and acted like I care, and guess what? I don't.
Right.
I'm tired of that. I don't know them. I don't work with them. I'll meet them at the Christmas party. Other than that, I don't care.
I like listening to her get fired up. I do. It's just, from time to time, she does catch me kind of glazing over. It's like, I've never heard this complaint like that.
Yeah, that's all. You know what I think? When you say, how was your day? To me, it's like a report card.
Yeah.
I do not know every single day how my kid did on this test, this piece of classwork. But I get the report card, and I'm like, you got to be.
Right. I don't want anything for my birthday. Liar!
Do not fall into that trap.
Valentine.
Do not fall into that trap.
Name it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And the number of times that I expect to be disappointed as far as reciprocation is 100%, because it's like, maybe she does mean it. Maybe she does. Yeah, just this year we're not going to get each other gifts.
She does not mean it.
All right, cool. No, I'm still getting you a doggone gift.
She doesn't mean it.
I am not. I will be damned if I get caught in the trap of you just deciding to get me a little something and I show up empty-handed. Not going to frickin' happen to my
guys,
house.
seriously, do not fall for that.
Do not. Not once.
A text just came in and says, I'm about to get off from work. I can confirm I was thinking about that cat song. Like, look, man, we're not sophisticated. We're exactly as simple as you think we are.
Miles, you go to your wife and say, do you want Italian or do you want Mexican for dinner? You decide.
All right, then I'll take Mexican. I had that for lunch. Why did you give me those two options?
You clearly do not want one of them. Don't make it an option.
No, I want you to decide.
I had tacos for lunch. So.
I'm tired of making the decisions. You pick.
You could get something other than tacos.
No.
You suggested Mexican. How about a quesadilla?
But I like the tacos from there. I don't want to go there.
I know exactly. Now you're back to the tacos.
All right, let's just get a pizza.
But no, when we go there, we get the tacos. Can't get anything else there. When I go there, I get the tacos, and I don't want tacos right now.
And why do we have to order different things at the restaurant? We have to eat the exact same thing at home.
Right.
Here's dinner. if I were to say, I'm just going to eat a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Now, this is wrong. But if we go to the same restaurant and we both, without discussing it, both want, I don't know, the chicken frickin' marsala. Like, you got to get something different. Like, do I need to do that? Does this matter? This is going in my mouth, into my belly. And at least when we kiss each other later, it tastes the same. There's no weird taste exchange.
Things women say that mean the opposite. I'll be ready in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Did the clock stop?
Yeah, come on.
you have to know.
Yeah.
The trick, but you give it up with odd times. So that's the problem. Say you're supposed to be someplace at 5. And you say, we need to be there at 4:35.
Correct.
4:35.
That way you're only 10 minutes late.
Yes, 4:35. Why 4:35? That's what time they said show up. They said 4:35.
So early?
What a weird time. Okay, 4:30 then.
Right. That is a weird time. I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Who am I to argue?
Maybe it's like a tea time. They're just weird.
To me, like, you can say I'll be ready in 5 minutes, and I believe you think you're ready in 5 minutes, but just know, I believe a minute to be 60 seconds per.
Hey.
And somehow they have 145 seconds per minute, so their 5 minutes is different than my minute. It's almost like women's clothing sizes. Our sizes are mathematically what our dimensions are.
Right.
And the women's sizes change. I feel like time is like that with them. Oh, no. This designer time, this is Calvin Klein, so my 5 minutes will be 20 of yours.
Let's see here. Honey, I know that we had plans here tonight, but the guys called me. They said that they're down at the bar. Do whatever you want.
That means you don't go.
That's right.
You don't go. No, if you had plans and you're going to change the plans that she was supposed to go out with you to go out with your friends, that's a D move.
Do whatever you want, Miles.
That's a D move. No.
Do whatever you want.
I want to go hang with my friends.
Do whatever you want.
But I know the right thing to do.
Nah, do whatever you want.
Hang with you because you're so pleasant.
And you're clearly in a good mood now.
Right, exactly.
So I cannot wait for this night to expand.
Folded arms night.
Folded arms.
You're on a couch, dude. Relax. Lay down. Just sitting there with your arms folded. Boy, that looks comfortable.
Folded arms night. That should be like a group. Hey, man, you want to come over folded arms night? I just need a little kind of a break in what's going on here.
Could steam vegetables with the heat cloud coming up from over top of you. And then the number one thing that women say that means the total opposite. Thrill, you said it right at the beginning of the segment. It is...
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Now, I might say, girl, you fine. But I mean it entirely different. And I mean it if I'm going to say it.
I'm fine. No, you're not.
And here's the problem, though, because they never actually mean it. When you say, oh, dude, I'm fine, they don't believe you. And I'm like, no.
Right.
I don't use this as a lie.
You're not mad at me, are you?
I am not mad at you about anything. I'm actually fine. I'm using the word as it is defined.
Right. Sorry, I just got perma grumpy face on right now. But I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm good.
I'm okay.
Right. Whatever it is, it doesn't concern you. I will swallow it. We're okay. But it's not you.
I mean, my girlfriend's pissed, but baby, I'm not letting it bug me.
A man in Chicago is being detained for robbing a grocery store, but you won't believe how much he stole, Miles.
How much did he get out of it?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you pick a McDouble or a McChicken, then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money.
Price and participation may vary. For a limited time only.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time to dust off your glove, grab your bat, and hit the road for some baseball. But before you head to the game, make sure your ride is in top shape. At Axton Automotive, our skilled mechanics ensure your vehicle is running smoothly so you can focus on cheering for your team. Don't strike out this spring. Get your car ready for baseball season. Visit AxtonAutomotive.com or call 360-685-7976.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast an anonymous tow truck driver from Ray's Rex Service in Vidor, Texas. You know where Vidor, Texas is?
I have no idea.
They said it's close to Beaumont. Do you know where Beaumont, Texas is?
I do not.
I don't either. But either way,
I've heard of Beaumont.
I've heard of Beaumont. So either way, this place is close to that. But this particular driver, he was dispatched to an abandoned Porsche that was parked in front of a church. It had been there for a little while. And in spite of being in Texas, the car had Ohio plates, and it just seemed suspicious. No one had been around the car. No one can figure out why it's there. And then it got a lot more suspicious when the tow truck driver saw a body wrapped in blankets and could see the hair on the head was also visible through the window. So absolutely, he called the cops. Now, what makes it creepier, the car's passenger door, and I've never heard of this, was padlocked from the inside. So there's a body wrapped in blankets in a car that's been abandoned outside of a church, and the passenger side, it's padlocked from the inside. So I did not know that this is how this works. In spite of that, seeing a body in a vehicle, he calls the cops. The cops can't just break through the window. Maybe it's state, maybe it's federal, I don't know. But they had to wait a couple of hours for a warrant to be signed before they could physically go into the vehicle. Well, it did take a few hours, and eventually they got the warrant, and they finally entered the vehicle, and they uncovered the victim. It was just a realistic sex doll that they had wrapped. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, they showed a picture of it. It was kind of dressed like Bret Michaels, kind of had like a bandana, seriously, around its head, pair of sunglasses on, a couple of shirts, very long flowing locks, wrapped in a blanket. The bad thing, obviously, that is a good outcome. But the bad thing is, this tow truck driver was damn near, wrecked for life. Because he's there for...
So they find out who owns the car.
They still don't know. They cannot track down the owner right now. Again, Ohio plates. It should be easy enough, but right now they cannot get an answer. Who owned the car? or why it was there, or why they padlock it from the inside. But good news, just a blow-up doll. Bad news for the tow truck driver. He was freaked the F out. But we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Thrill-Hill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey.
Hola. Hola. All right, Andrew, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Fantastic.
I guess something.
That's basically it, man. It's honestly that simple. I'll give you options. You guess one. We'll see if you're right or wrong. So in this case, you have 3 different categories to choose from. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have bite me, in other words, what does someone find in their food? And finally, animalize this, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Let's do the animalize.
That's kind of a strange one. We go to Hong Kong, where commuters were evacuated from a train during rush hour earlier this morning when an animal was spotted on board. Police said the Island Line MTR train was evacuated at a station at 7:37 a.m. when passengers spotted the creature moving loose through a train car. Now, the passengers were boarded onto a replacement train, and the employees were able to capture the critter in a cardboard box. They didn't need animal control. They just handled it themselves. Now, the critter was carted away by police, and later they discovered it's a species native to the United States. So how it got to Hong Kong and on a train is anyone's guess. But police said the animal will be taken to a farm for care, just like dogs go to the farm kind of thing. But the question is, what is the critter in question that was moving freely through the Hong Kong passenger train? Was it a bat? Was it a snake? Was it a rat? Or was it a weasel? So bat, snake, rat, or weasel. What was cruising around the Hong Kong commuter train at 7:37 this morning?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think what Hong Kong wouldn't have. Like native. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they might have native versions of this animal. They just said when they kind of examined this particular species, they're like, this one is native to the U.S.
Wait, can you give me the options again?
Bat, snake, rat, or weasel?
I'm going to go with a rat.
You're going to go with a rat? Okay.
Rat.
I'm going to go weasel. Mike, what are you doing?
I'm hitting snake on this one.
Okay. All right. What was loose on the train? Was it a bat, a snake, a rat, or a weasel? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories analyze this on Profile This. Commuters were evacuated from a train in Hong Kong this morning because of an animal. It was on the loose. Apparently, it was a American...
Yeah, it's a native to the United
States animal, not domesticated. It's a wild animal, I'm guessing. Based
or a
on
tourist, hard to know.
Well, it's a bad snake, rat, or weasel, so if you have those as pets. But either way, it was one of those four.
Yeah, and it was on a train in Hong Kong. And Andrew, we asked you, what kind of animal do you think it is? Let us start with our very own Miles Montgomery, who went to weasel. Weasel, known in Germany as a weasel. It was not a weasel or a weasel. Andrew, you went with a rat, known in Germany as a rat. It was not a rat. I think that's what we have on our trains here, they smoke cigarettes and eat your pizza. And Mike, you went with a snake.
Come on, give me the snake.
Oh, you got it.
All right.
Wonder what kind of snake it was.
Right? Some sort of rattler, maybe?
No, it wasn't a rattler. It was I don't remember what it was, but it's a non-venomous snake.
Okay.
But not everyone can look at a snake and know that it's non-venomous.
Right.
And if it's not native to your country, you may have never seen it.
I don't care if you think you know. You probably don't.
Yeah.
Don't risk it.
Assume that you don't.
Don't Steve Irwin then.
Yeah. Now for all the TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Big news.
Big news.
Big news in the world of TV, man. TV star Steve-O. He's got a brand new tattoo.
Steve-O.
From Jackass.
Okay.
And it's very Steve-O fashion because it was given by none other than superstar Post Malone.
Okay. All right.
What do you think could Steve-O possibly have tattooed on his body that he would get Post Malone to do it that is absolutely newsworthy?
Where did he get it tattooed?
On his face.
On his face. Well, Post Malone, he's kind of known for that.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But Post Malone even said, I did it because I'm ugly and it doesn't matter. That's actually a quote from Post Malone.
Right.
I appreciate it.
And I will say, as far as his artwork goes, Post Malone did a pretty good job on this tattoo. I know what you're guessing. You're right.
It?
No, it's a penis.
Oh, penis.
Of course.
He got
a
penis tattooed on his face.
How big is this penis?
It is the size of his eye, dude. You gotta look at this thing.
Wait a minute.
This is Steve-O's new
new
tattoo.
Oh my God.
And that is Post Malone's artwork that he did there. And so the base, if you will start at the center of the face and moves outward towards the end of the eye. And I, for whatever reason, it seems to continue down the side of the face there just a little bit because,
that could be misconstrued to some degree.
But why in the world would Steve-O get a tattoo on his face of a penis? Here's why.
Are you ready for a good look at this tattoo? Well, first, let me tell you why I got it. It's to find out how long I last before I tap out and get it lasered off. I'm determined to make it at least through my next whole tour, which starts this Friday. And it's the craziest show I've ever put together because it actually explores what I have to do with my art to cross the line. And I'll have you know, I'm crossing the hell out of it.
But does it matter if Steve-O has a penis tattooed on his face? I mean, nobody should get a penis tattooed on the face, but it's Steve-O.
Right.
So, of all the people that are going to get a penis tattooed on their face, he would be the guy. It's not going to dry up any resources for him. He's not going to not get work because of it. I mean, he's the guy. It would be different if Morgan Freeman said, I've made a decision and I have a penis tattooed on my face. You would say, what? Steve-O, you just kind of go like, yeah, all right, man.
I get it. It's still just, how far do we go, Steve-O? You know what I mean?
But he's the guy that could do it. I don't know. But put it this way, I'm so unshocked, mildly amused, but very unshocked by it. I go like, yeah, you're the guy.
As far as if I were to hear a celebrity that got a tattoo of a penis on his face, I would not. You're right. Least shocked. I don't know if I would guess him outright, but I would not be stunned at all if you were to say
You're not shocked when you say it's Steve-O.
I want to know where the line's at. And I get it. He's out there crossing the line. He's being crazy. I feel like he's almost pandering at this point.
It is pandering, and he's not crossing the line because he's always been over the line. That's all I'm saying.
He has, but I feel like it was more clever back in the older days of Jackass, even
Definitely
in the
more
early
clever.
movies. This feels like, all right, I'm Steve-O, and I'm going to just take a kick right between the legs.
Sure.
We're better than this.
It is, but again,
they're also running out of stuff.
They are.
It's got to get a little bit. Nothing Impractical Jokers. They continue to make pretty good content.
Absolutely.
But they kept pushing the boundaries of just uncomfortableness.
Sure.
Which, that's the idea of the show.
Absolutely.
But he does that on a different kind of level as far as I cannot believe he did this to himself.
But I can still believe
voluntarily.
Right.
Not like it's a joke and you know it. This is that spike is really going in there, or whatever the deal is.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So with him, I mean, I don't recommend this, but look, I can think of my son's friends. And if you said which one of them is most likely to get a penis tattooed on their head, someone comes to mind instantly. And I think all the parents that know the kids, they would all agree, like, yeah, this is the kid that would be the one.
Exactly. Okay, switching gears here. I want you guys to think back to probably the worst injury that you've ever suffered in your life. The worst injury on record. What? Anything that comes to mind?
Slice of murder.
I thought that might be yours.
Yeah, dude, I'm not trying to top that. That was a good. That's a good mountaintop.
Yeah, I bet you there, Miles. Worst
injury. Not as painful as my hemorrhoidectomy.
Okay.
So the procedure itself was just brutal. I mean, I've never been in that much pain.
Well, and then the aftermath of what you got to go through as well.
You said you're crying in the bathtub.
Yeah,
and to me, that's like, right.
It's just that I knew what I was getting into. I knew it needed to be done. That did not change the recovery period of 6 months and how just brutally painful it was.
Yeah.
So that sucked. But as far as self-inflicted injury,
mine would be when I cracked my ribs out there riding in the dunes.
I think a concussion from football where I basically just couldn't look at light for about 3 days and really didn't know where I was because it was just scary.
Right.
And I couldn't get my headache to go away.
You kind of hit that point of like, is this going to be forever?
It was just like someone took a nail and was drilling it between my eyes. And any time that, like the temperature changed or I had to get up or whatever, I get nauseous and then I get the spins and I have to sit back down and I couldn't keep anything down. But the blinds had to be all the way closed. It had to be totally silent, totally dark. That sucked.
God.
That sucked. Right.
Well, you know who just suffered a pretty bad injury? America's favorite chef, Gordon Ramsay. Did you guys hear about this one?
No, I like Gordon Ramsay.
What did he, fell off of a bike or something?
So on June 15th, celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay shared on X, formerly known as Twitter, that he had been in a serious cycling accident in Connecticut earlier this week. The chef said, quote, honestly, I'm lucky to be here, as he explained the incident in a short video that he posted up there on social media. Although the details of the accident are unknown, Ramsay wrote on Instagram, quote, I did not break any bones or suffer any major injuries, which this photo I'm about to show you kind of tells differently. According to the chef, he was treated at Lawrence Memorial Hospital in New London, Connecticut. Thankfully, he said that he was doing okay, but was just shaken up after the, quote, really bad accident. In the video he shared to X, he lifted his shirt to his chef's uniform to reveal the huge bruise that is on his side.
Damn, man.
How the hell he didn't break any bones with a bruise that size? And if you guys haven't seen it, it is basically from his waist to his pec. It is all the way up his side.
I hope to God he was wearing a helmet.
That is exactly what he said multiple times. Like, I cannot stress enough the importance of wearing a helmet. And he did post a couple photos up on Instagram of kind of the aftermath of his gear. After the cycling accident, his shirt is torn and the front of his helmet is pretty much just worn off.
Wow.
Okay.
So I don't know what in the hell happened. I don't know if he fell off of a cliff. I don't know if he just ended up firing into a doggone tree. What the hell happened? But it wrecked his gear and it wrecked his body. It is one of the worst injuries that he says that he's faced. And that photo is no different there. That's a gnarly one there.
But I want to know what the hell happened, man.
Right? And
because that bruise is like nothing's broken, but that bruise, I mean, it's solid purple.
Right.
And that looks the bass player's tattoo from Rage Against the Machine, right? Just
a
solid block of color.
It is.
God almighty.
That thing's going to take.
Is that a cover-up based on the fact that he made some really bad decisions, or was that just his artistic?
I think it's just his artistic thing. I think it was just what he did. Was it Brad? But that was his name. I can't think of it. Bass player from Rage Against the Machine.
Well, Brad Delp's the drummer.
God, I always mix that up.
I don't remember. But that got me thinking of some other celebrities that have kind of faced on-the-job hazards, as it were.
Wicks, not Delp.
Wicks, right? God, Delp is boss.
Yeah, exactly. Duh.
So I got a list here of actors who almost died on set. They start off with Charlize Theron actually almost died on set.
Let me guess the movie, and I guess the Fury Road.
No, it was actually Aeon Flux. She was she attempted to perform a backflip for the 2005 action film, but was, quote, almost paralyzed for her efforts. She landed on her neck, and the extent of her injuries saw production on the film shut down for about 8 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah, put her down there for.
How about a stunt double?
No kidding, man.
Find a random gymnast.
Martin Sheen. Anybody know the movie that almost took him out?
Apocalypse Now.
That's exactly right. Okay. At the time of filming Apocalypse Now in 1979, he was drinking heavily and using drugs, so much so that unbeknownst to the crew or his director, he had a heart attack in the middle of the jungle. He was forced to crawl for approximately half a mile before finding somebody who could treat him.
Damn.
That's a will
I thought
to
you were going
live.
to say like some weird infection or, something.
Nope. Heart attack in the jungle, brother.
Yeah. Michael J. Fox. Anybody hear about this one?
I'm going to guess Teen Wolf.
Back to the Future Part 3.
All right.
So it was during a scene in which his character, Marty McFly, it's almost as soon as he goes back in time to the Old West, right? It's when he's being hung by the neck.
Oh, no.
Something the crew permitted Fox to act out himself on the condition that he knew exactly where to place his hands when the noose was around his neck. He miscalculated, choking himself before passing out, and was cut down after someone realized that he was so close to death.
The problem with doing scenes like that, other than the obvious nature of the danger, is they don't necessarily know when you're acting.
Right.
Right? Until you scream like cut and you're still laying there limp. Then you go, oh, S, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We talked about him earlier today. Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. So apparently he cheated death while filming the first season of Breaking Bad in 2008. Having asked for permission to move positions of a scene, the actor was left shaken after a boulder fell on top of the roof of a nearby RV directly onto the spot where he had just been standing.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little PTSD there.
That'll get your poopy pants.
Tom Hanks. Anybody know the movie that almost saw him end? Again, these are actors who almost died on set.
Castaway?
It was indeed Castaway. After suffering a minor cut to his leg on the set of 2000 drama Castaway, he ended up contracting a potentially deadly staph infection and found himself hospitalized for 3 days. If untreated, the infection can prove fatal. I was wondering if it was like he cut himself on the coral for real and they just decided to keep that in the movie.
Maybe. Because, look, if I'm a director, honestly, I keep the scene because your response is going to be legit. And then immediately, we get you taken care of.
One that is not on the list that I was surprised was Viggo Mortensen in the first Lord of the Rings movie.
All right.
Towards the end of the movie, when the Uruk-hai are coming in there, they're descending upon the group there. Spoiler alert, it's when Boromir dies, right? Those big ugly guys that are in there. There's a scene in which the main bad guy there, he pulls a blade out of his leg and then throws it at Viggo Mortensen.
Yes.
And he swings his sword and he bats the thing out of the way, and it makes an uncharacteristic for movie sound that is very tinny. It's very metallic. That's because the actor that threw the thing actually threw the doggone knife at Viggo Mortensen. Yeah.
You think Viggo's like, hey, man, like, I get the authenticity, but, like, look a little to the left or right, bro.
So I suppose they can't say that he almost died at that point, but he almost died at that point.
Yeah, got hit in the face with a knife.
Johnny Depp. Anybody know the movie that almost took out Johnny Depp?
One of the pirate movies?
Not one of the pirate movies. It was The Lone Ranger. He was thrown from a horse on the set of The Lone Ranger and saw his life flash before his eyes after it proceeded to trample on him.
Oh, damn.
It trampled him.
And then it pooped on his bed.
Brendan Fraser. It's Fraser. It's not Frazier, it's Fraser.
It is Fraser?
Yes.
I would say Fraser.
But he almost went the same way that Michael J. Fox almost went. With The Mummy, there's another scene where he is hanging by the neck. And again, let's see here. Let's see. It went terribly wrong. According to his co-star Rachel Weisz, the actor stopped breathing and was in need of resuscitation as a result of that scene.
Good. Why do they keep doing that?
Right.
Like, just little CGI dummies, stunt doubles, anything. Like, maybe stop actually hanging people if it always gets this close.
Yeah. But maybe if you're a dedicated enough actor, you're like, no, choke me a little bit. That way I can get a little bit of realism in there. Because you can tell the ones that are obviously fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I hear certain
I'm grasping at straws. Don't do it. It's stupid. Save your life, man. Get it in editing.
That's all. Let us think, boy, that didn't seem real, but let it not be real.
Isla Fisher. I do know this one. I remember this fun little factoid when it came up. The movie Now You See Me. It was that magician movie with
that's a pretty good movie.
It was a good movie. I really did enjoy it.
Oh, wasn't she? So if I get this right, they did one of those Houdini deals where she's like in a enclosed water box kind of thing.
Correct.
But they actually couldn't get it open or something.
Right. So it doesn't quite detail it there, but I don't remember if it was her hands that were locked and weren't coming free, but something was not acting properly in the scene, and she's pounding there on the glass. Now, in the scene, it's supposed to be very dramatic. It's a very dramatic magic trick that's going on. No, she's legit drowning at that point.
And again, you don't necessarily know because if you're doing it right, you're trying to convince the crowd you're about to drown, right?
Correct.
Your co-stars are assuming you're going to play that up. So when you're actually drowning, I don't know how you indicate to people like, no, I'm not acting. I'm going to drown.
Right. Well, they will give you
certain time limit,
certain buzzwords.
Okay.
I remember when I was in high school, they did a rendition of and then there were none as far as a play goes, and there was a scene where they had a noose and they had to wrap it around one of the gals' necks and drag her with a noose, basically.
Jesus.
And
this is in high school?
Her cue was to call the character by name.
Okay.
She called him by name. That was like, you're actually legit choking me, like, loosen up just a little bit. Jim Caviezel. Again, these are actors who almost died on set. I feel like we all heard about this one.
Last Temptation?
Passion. It's not Last Temptation, it's Passion,
Passion.
yeah. Due to the intense filming conditions, he suffered from pneumonia, hypothermia, and lung infection, and even survived getting struck by lightning, not while he was on the cross. It was the Sermon on the Mount scene. Says I was lit up like a Christmas tree. Also dislocated his shoulder on set.
That is pretty biblical. I'm playing Jesus Christ, and you get hit by lightning.
Right.
Yeah.
At some point, it's kind of a sign there.
Maybe we don't do this movie.
Sylvester Stallone almost died on set. Anybody remember this one? Steve, I feel like you would remember this one.
Is it Rocky?
I've heard Rocky
3,
where he had
where he was in Russia?
A rib floated and maybe punctured a lung or something.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Him messing around with Dolph Lundgren.
Correct. You guys are both right. It was from Rocky 4. He asked Dolph Lundgren to, quote, knock him out, and the resulting punch was so heavy that Stallone's rib cage was pushed into his chest, causing his heart to be compressed due to the swelling of his precardial sac. He spent 9 days in intensive care.
I respect him for doing that, but did you look at Dolph Lundgren before you asked that guy to deliver a punch to you?
And Dolph Lundgren, just side note, he's a fascinating character. He is that big, huge, tough guy. He is legitimate that tough. He's also a kook, by the way. And also,
he's like a PhD and
yes. He's a super genius.
Yeah.
I want to see him on Jeopardy.
Super genius.
He would kick everyone's ass in Jeopardy.
Damn right. I want him on the college tournament, and I want him in doggone Cougs colors. And then the last actor here who almost died on set, Margaret Hamilton. If you don't know her by name, you know her as the Wicked Witch of the West.
It was the green stuff they put on her body.
Not the green stuff that put on her body. I thought the same thing, but there was a scene where she always disappeared in that orange cloud of smoke that came up, right? So it says she was meant to disappear through a trap door in a cloud of smoke caused by fiery jets, but a malfunction saw the door fail to open, leaving her with second and third degree burns on her face and hands.
Jesus.
Yeah. Things that go wrong on set there. Those are some actors who almost died on set.
She scared the living hell out of me as a kid.
Man, she became the universal nightmare for many a child.
Well, and then she came back as the Wicked Witch of the West for a Sesame Street.
And they wouldn't air it again.
Correct. Because she was too damn scary.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. Parents can send instant money transfers, automate allowance, and more. Plus, keep an eye on spending with real-time notifications. Join more than 6 million families building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/Odyssey. That's greenlight.com/Odyssey.
It's warming up, folks, and about time to turn on your AC unit and cross your fingers. Or you can give up that moment of truth and switch to an American Standard heat pump system like I did. My place is on Comfort Autopilot thanks to American Standard. Energy efficient and reliable, my heat pump keeps things cool like the Arctic in the summer. And with energy incentives, I was able to save. Ready for the future of comfort? Learn more at americanstandardair.com/electrification.
Here's why April chose to vaccinate her child.
I think actually meeting someone who was not vaccinated and now has a lifelong struggle with a childhood disease really cemented for me that it's super important that we as parents continue to vaccinate our children.
Talk to your pediatrician or visit yvaccines.com. Brought to you by Merck.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you pick a McDouble or a McChicken, then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money.
Price and participation may vary. For a limited time only.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Edmonton Air Traffic Controllers do their best to make sure the Oilers win Game 3. They didn't. It appears one German tourist in Spain really did have to pee. YouTube advertisements 3 minutes long lead to at least one death. If you think Hertz Rental Car will refund your money after they mess up, don't hold your breath. And a Chicago man holds up a grocery store and gets $1 American. Time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
Top story, we go to Chicago, where a robber is being detained. He was already residing in a halfway house after being convicted of robbing a local bank to the amount of $87,000 when he decided that he just needed to get back to it. Defying strict orders of only supervised outings from the house, he went to his local grocery store and handed one of the cashiers a note that he had a gun and wanted to steal money out of the register. He grabbed his cash and made his escape, but by then it was already too late. He'd been declared a fugitive and an arrest warrant had already been put out for him, making him an easy target for authorities. As far as the money that he stole, safe to say the grocery store won't be hurting too badly, as he was only able to get one single American dollar from the register before his escape.
So wait, he showed up with a gun and he reached into the register.
I believe so, yeah. From what I could read, it sounds like that's exactly what he did.
And he took $1.
He took $1?
Bro, if it's armed robbery, go for it all.
Right.
Take
just
everything.
Take the doggone machine at that point.
Good God.
Or did he just get like the most unlucky register? Like, we're actually just switching out the money. Like,
I could have been that. Like, okay.
Right. I've already closed out for the day, man.
It's all yours, bro.
There's nothing in here. Everybody pays by card now. Nobody goes cash.
That's a good point. You ever heard of Apple Pay, bro?
Right. I'm starting to wonder that, like, just straight up robberies has got to start being a less lucrative business.
I would think, unless you're like targeting a bank.
Right.
You know, and it's not why there's all the smash and grabs at the weed shops, right?
Oh, exactly.
They have cash.
Exactly.
Everyone else has receipts.
That's why people are starting to rob banks again. They'll never see it coming. Oh, stupid to rob a bank. Yeah, not anymore.
They still have money.
In other news, to Edmonton, where local air traffic control decided to fuel a little Stanley Cup feud. Not wanting to deprive the team of sleep before the next game, the Stanley Cup final, the Florida Panthers management elected to stay the night at home and fly out to Edmonton before the game against the Oilers. Not sure why that's better, but I guess it is. But their flight encountered a cheeky traffic controller on the approach to the airport. The ATC employee identified that the plane seeking clearance to land was carrying the opponents of his beloved Oilers and decided to have some fun, answering their request to land with a note that they'd be putting them into a holding position for about 2 hours, admitting that it was actually for however long they'd need to circle the air until they ran out of fuel and would need to divert elsewhere. This, of course, was all in jest, and the plane landed safely and on time. I do like that, though, that he could identify that's like, oh, wait a minute.
That's them.
That's the Panthers plane. Oh, yeah, we've got you on a 2-hour hold or whatever. Just stay up there until you got to leave.
We'll let you know. I'm going home for the night.
And to be honest with you, with the way that the Panthers are playing versus the Oilers, it makes sense that it's like, I don't want you to play my team. I don't want to get knocked out yet. 3-0 going into game 4. Like, doggone it, dude. Over to Calgary, where a local Hertz branch is catching some flack. A couple made arrangements to rent a car for several days after flying into Calgary, with their rental starting at 10:30 p.m. the night that they landed at the airport. Unfortunately, the clerk that sent their rental made the mistake of logging them in for their car at 10:30 a.m. Honest mistake.
Okay.
Shoot, I made that mistake here on my computer as well. But the problem came that the previous renters of the car had run a red light that morning before turning in their car during the time that the next family was on record as having rented it, leaving them with the $436 ticket. After pleading their case that they were in the air at the time of the infraction, and the clerk agreeing that their car was not in their possession at the time of the ticket, the company is still not budging on making them pay the ticket, telling them to simply dispute the charges after the fact. And I get the strategy there. It's like, you pay and then you can dispute it, but that way we at least get our money for it. But at the same time, it's like, how do we not go after the couple that clearly was the one that ran the light?
How was that not an easy fix?
Right. And how was this car double booked already? Like, granted, I don't know how these systems work. There's a lot that I don't know in this situation, but I feel like there's a little bit more common sense that should go into this.
Yeah, especially when you acknowledge, like, no, we understand you weren't the people, but you got to take it up with, I don't know who they go, Hertz Corporate or something like that. No, I'm telling you now, and you're acknowledging that I know you were not in the vehicle.
Right.
And you know who rented it. Why don't you just reach out to them or send them the bill?
Exactly.
And take it off of my
That's literally all you got to do is just send them the bill. You have all their information. You needed their ID. You need everything that you can on this person so that if these things happen, then you can send them the bill.
It's that easy.
I understand that a problem with your computer led to my getting a ticket. However, I feel like it's not that outlandish to get you just to erase that doggone ticket and send it to the people that actually did it.
Because you've already acknowledged the mistake.
Right.
Right.
I don't have to take it up with. I don't have to dispute the charges. You need to dispute the charges.
Right. I mean, this is not my problem.
Tell you what, if I hadn't have picked up this car, if I'd have just let this reservation go, would I still be getting the ticket?
Probably. Because of the clerical error.
Sure.
And my thing is
which also doesn't make sense because my reservation was at 10:30 a.m. Okay, fine. Why did you give me a car that wasn't here until noon then?
My thing is, people talk about computers are smart. They're not smart. Computers are exactly as smart as the person on the other end of the controls. So if I put in 10:30 a.m. and it's for 10:30 p.m., the computer doesn't know. Exactly. It just takes my information and says, okay.
Right.
But it's also easy to go in there and be like, delete and oops.
That's when I'd like to go as nice as I possibly could and take a line right from our buddy A.E. Dave, like, okay, you can't do it. Get me somebody who can.
Yeah, who's the guy that can fix this?
Right. I understand. You're working the desk. That is outside of your jurisdiction to be able to do that. Fine, I get it. Where's the person that can? Get them on the phone if necessary. This is not going to happen.
Right. It's how you solve problems.
Right. Mm-hmm. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully, there's good news.
We go to Iowa, where a man is taken to retirement. Well, he lived a full life as a plastic surgeon specializing in helping children born with facial deformities for most of his career. But one conversation that continued to happen between he and a friend of his was what he was going to do after he hung it all up. The running joke was that the plastic surgeon would come and work with his friend, a highway technician for the Iowa DOT, plowing snow in the winter season. Fast forward to his retirement, and he's taken his friend up on his offer. He spent hours and hours watching videos and training himself to be able to safely and effectively drive the plows, and now spends his retirement keeping himself busy, helping people with a safer commute.
Good for him, man.
Yeah. Right.
And instead of idle hands, like, to plow snow.
And I like that idea for my retirement as well, not necessarily plowing snow, but just something simple to keep me busy.
Hence Walmart greeters.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, get me out of the house. We met a woman years ago. We were in Florida. We were getting a new washer and dryer for the in-laws. They had a new place down there. So going to the Home Depot, it was this older lady. And as we're talking to her, she just says, actually, man, me and my husband were retired, I want to say like 10, 15 years ago. And I don't have to do this for money, but we realized, most of our adult life together, we weren't together 24/7, and we kind of understood for us. Seriously, she wasn't bad-mouthing him. She just goes, we both agreed that to maintain a healthy relationship, let's each find something to do. So he worked a few part-time days, she worked part-time days, and on the days the other one part-time, they stayed home and did their thing.
There you go.
And I'm like, okay, that's thinking.
We work really great together on an 8-hour shift.
That's correct.
Men's Room Sports, two big stands in the world of playoff sports. Both the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Mavericks came back to keep the sweeps away from the Stanley Cup Final and the NBA Final. NHL will kick back into Game 5 tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Meanwhile, the NBA Final continues with Game 5 tonight. That game currently underway over on ABC. The UFL came to a spectacular close over the weekend with the Birmingham Stallions rising up as your first ever UFL champions, beating the Brahmas by a stellar 25-0 victory to take home the gold.
It'd have been worse, but it's only a 60-minute game.
No kidding, dude. I was completely wrong. I was like, you know what? The Brahmas got this XFL through and through. Yeah, they didn't happen at all. And Birmingham took that one personally.
When they get rolling, man, tough team to beat.
Sad news for your Seattle Seawolves rugby team. They fell to the Houston SaberCats over the weekend, 28-25. They're back in action this coming Saturday night against Los Angeles. That should be some fun. Sounders FC came up big against Minnesota, winning their match 2-0 as well. But the big story of Seattle sports, your Seattle Mariners beating the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers in not one, not two, but all 3 games of the series here at home for a spectacular sweep, putting them ahead of the division 8.5 games. I know it's early out of the season, but you know what? This lead feels great.
When's the last time Mariners fans?
Not in the 20 years we've been here.
2001.
Dude, that's the last time they
2001.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, we've never seen this before.
It's fantastic. Keep it going, boys. Keep it going. They're taking the day off and will be back in action tomorrow against Cleveland, who also holds top position in their division as well, and they're a pretty tough team. It's going to be a rough series that we got there. As far as your weather, little wind and a lot of clouds tonight, but the chances of rain are dropping by the hour. Temperatures should hit the low 50s around 5 in the morning for the low. Before that sun comes up and starts to break up that cloud cover, should be bright and sunny skies tomorrow by 3 p.m. with the temperatures peaking at 69 right around 6 p.m. And that is it for your headlines. With that, my hog is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time with the Daily Mix Morning Show. Once again, we will sit and spin, and Ted's back.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room
Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.